everyone, how you doing? Welcome to another Courtroom Watch. Today we're looking at all sorts of weird courtroom videos, lots of contempt and other strange goings-on. How's everyone doing? Phoenix Leftist, thanks for a 280 stream streak. Halloween Town, thanks for a 5 stream streak. Says if it gets any colder, I might turn to ice. Hope for warm weather soon for you. Glad you could catch a little bit, Nemesaur, before you gotta go to a meeting, and I hope the meeting goes alright. Captain Conundrum with a 15 stream streak says 15 piece, let's go. Hey, Polly has his cracker, how's it going? Like I said, today we're looking at all sorts of courtroom videos. That's about it. I don't think I have any housekeeping other than if you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. So let's just dive right into it. What are we gonna start with? Let's try this one. Judge rages on bad dad for throwing 2x4 at his daughter. Yeah, don't throw things at people. That's not good.
In any way, shape, or form. No way, shape, or form. That is abuse. State of Wisconsin versus Christopher Stewart. Now, let's proceed to 23 CF 189 for sentencing. Mr. Schmidt, you may begin.
Sure. I'm going to be asking for some jail time on this. And the reason why has to do with his history. If you look at CCAP, Mr. Stewart looks like he doesn't have much history. When I look at it in Protect, though, I see there have been a lot of charges filed against Mr. Stewart over the year, and I wondered why.
Honestly, I feel like the first time you throw a 2x4 at a child, it's probably jail worthy. Like, I don't really need to look at your criminal record to go, oh, okay, you might have some issues going on.
None of those show up on CCAP, and the reason why.
Wisconsin, of course. And in his defense, maybe the Packers lost, okay? You really can't handle that, okay?
Is 2019, Mr. Stewart, domestic DC, did a DJOC there, completed it. That's why it's not in CCAP, got dismissed. Did a DPA on another domestic DC in 2017, completed that, got dismissed. Ordinance on a DC in 2014, another ordinance on a DC in 2014, ordinance on a domestic DC 2011, 2005, felony child abuse, DPA completed, dismissed. So there is a trend that goes back 20 years, at least to disorderly behavior, domestic related behavior. That's gone unabated. It also shows that when he's completed numerous DPAs and DGOCs, meaning he's done the conditions without getting in trouble on those. This would be the first one I believe he hasn't. For that reason, I think the court for this, the DGOC wound up being on the misdemeanor battery. I think the court should consider jail time between 3 and 6 months. I think 9 months would be too much because I don't know how much jail he's done in his life. It can't be a lot. I can't imagine he's done more than 10 days jail at a time. So ratcheting up to 9 months wouldn't make sense given his lack of actual criminal history. I'm hopeful that getting jail for the first time for this sort of conduct ever might deter his behavior better because
is that how it works? Am I crazy, or is our whole justice system like not built around how human beings work? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like the punitive jailing system is very dependent upon the idea that someone who is probably behaving incredibly irrationally is in a moment of making a really bad decision gonna go, I would throw this 2x4 at this child. A completely rational decision otherwise. However, if I do this, I'll go to jail for 9 months. I'm not saying no one is prevented from doing crime because of jail. I'm just saying it's a little funny how the system just doesn't seem very tailored to how human beings work. I just don't think that's the thing that's gonna get him to not abuse his child. If it being your child wasn't enough, is jail gonna do it? I don't know.
He's been charged with it and gotten ordinance or DPAs and DJOCs constantly for this sort of behavior. Thank you.
Mr. Davis.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, while that may be true that he have had deferred cases in the past and successfully completed them, that resulted in no conviction. I'm going to be quite poignant on this. We were prepared to go to trial on this, and the issue First of all, I'll say that this is a serious offense. I think it's a lazy argument to say it's a misdemeanor or it's a low-level felony. Let's just get that out of the way. This is a conviction. This does not bode well on his record. My client is employed full-time, and he will not get business if people start doing searches on him and seeing misdemeanor convictions. That doesn't help him. Or if he wants to switch and go to a company or a different company, this obviously isn't going to be a badge of honor. But this specific situation, so he was building
Probably
a house.
not going to hire someone who abuses people.
Is his daughter. It's a separated family.
Apparently that's rare, though.
Divorce. So there's the child, the ex, and he, and they have shared placement time. And she comes over, and every time she's at that teenage age, where she'd have chores, she wouldn't do them. She wouldn't do her homework. She wouldn't help with the chores. She wanted a new house, and he did everything to build this new house on what I call a creek, not a river, but a beautiful home that he wanted to build for he and his daughter. And they were working. And
I know that you have to be a zealous advocate for your client, but really, we're trying to equivocate. We're trying to be like, well, you know, this teenager wasn't wanting to do their chores, so that's why I chucked a 2x4 at her. That's not how this works. Believe it or not, teenagers are gonna get on your nerves sometimes. They're teenagers. You don't get to physically assault them. This is pathetic.
And he did take
Hey, Midnight Wolf, how's it going?
a piece of lumber, Your Honor, and he did not intentionally throw it at her, but he threw it in her direction, and the board hit her, and he was
I didn't throw it at her. I threw it in her direction. What do you... If you throw something in someone's direction and it hits them, what is that called? Is that called throwing something at someone? God, I hate the world.
frustrated parent. He wasn't trying to hit her or smack her or take a board and hit anybody. He's like, come on, you just help, start working, you know, start helping with the chores, help me around here. Not just don't come over and sit on your phone or your iPad or whatever it is.
These millennials and their iPads, we gotta throw wood at them.
In any event,
What kind of fucking insane boomer argument is this? These kids and their cell phones, am I right? You just gotta abuse them sometimes.
he understood that that's not how to handle that situation.
Did he though? Because that's how he handled it. So does he know that? I don't know. Do you know something if you're claiming to know it and yet you act in complete opposition to that supposed knowledge? I don't know if you know it then. Just kind of think you're post hoc claiming you know it to get away with it.
He entered into the deferred judgment of conviction, and he did have some requirements to do an anger management assessment and follow through, which he did do, Your Honor. What's really tough right now is that he hasn't had much contact with her. He's not an alcoholic. He's not a drug user. He's a hardworking man, pays his taxes.
He's able to abuse his children completely sober, like the Lord intended.
And supports anything he can with regard to his daughter's success. Now, again, this situation, had it been handled differently, maybe he pulled his daughter aside, but I think where his head's at, I really want the court to know this, his head was not to be mean to her, not to hurt her, but he wants her to be successful and have some structure. Bad parent because of that.
I don't think when they say structure, they mean throw a piece of a structure at her head. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 57 months. Says, I find boba tea bribery better motivation for teenagers than chucking things at them. More carrot, less stick. No stick.
In any event, Your Honor, I'm asking the court to consider probation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Stewart, I am now going to.
What did this guy allegedly do? Threw a 2x4 at his daughter's head.
turn this over to you.
Because she wasn't doing her chores or something, so he took a 2x4, which I don't know if you've ever actually, like, held, like, a 2x4. Like, especially, it depends on what kind of wood it is, I guess, but, like, it's not insignificant in terms of mass. It'll hurt real bad. It could fucking kill you if someone chucked it at you in the head hard enough. Like, it's not funny. I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable, but it's not, like, funny in a ha-ha way, you know? It's just fucked up.
You don't have to, but if you want to tell the judge anything now, this is your right.
I don't know what's going on.
All right. I don't know if your father was angry and your father threw things when he was angry, but it's not okay. It is not okay in any way, shape, or form. No way, shape, or form. That is abuse. Even if you had zero intent to hit your daughter, that is abuse. It causes emotional trauma within your child to see you act like an idiot, like a jerk, like even more words that I cannot even say on the record. You were an awful parent that day. And if I read from the criminal complaint of what happened that day and how it went down, the officer responded to the address and made contact with Ben Stewart in the front seat of a pickup with juvenile 1 sitting on the passenger side
Are
of the
people
truck.
unfamiliar with 2x4s? I imagine most people haven't actually worked with them.
Ben
They
told
know it's a piece of wood, but if you've only ever seen a piece of wood with other people making something or on TV, you might not realize how heavy and, like, they're dense. It's wood. It's dense. Janerdy, thanks for 125 stream streak. Says, oh boy, on the one hand, perfect costume choice. On the other, what a terrible moment to join stream on. I actually picked today's stream topic based on the costume. At least partially. Just a Peach with a $2 super chat says, hello, I love this judge. We still have snow.
told me he was taking juvenile 1 to get checked out at Burnett Medical Center. I had juvenile victim 1 get out of the truck and talk to her. Juvenile victim 1 was crying. She told me that her dad, Chris, had told her to use the tape measurer when they were working in the yard. Juvenile victim 1 had gotten dirt in the tape measure, and Chris had told her that if she did that, she would not be going deer hunting. Juvenile victim 1 then was upset and told Chris that she was going deer hunting with her uncle, Ben.
Are people incapable of, like, just telling that, like, I'm not a parent, so, like, I understand me trying to, like talk about this is obnoxious to parents, I'd imagine. But, like, are there parents that are genuinely incapable of understanding, like, hey, maybe your kid just didn't know a thing or wasn't thinking about it? You don't need to resort to punishment immediately. Maybe you just go, hey, sweetie, you got, like, dirt in here. Be really careful with that, because that can get in the mechanism, and it can destroy the tape measure. And they maybe go, oh, okay, sorry. And that's it. That's, you don't need to immediately be like, if you do that again, I'm gonna take a thing away. Calm down. They are a developing person. They may have just genuinely not known a thing. Calm down. Diogenes 42, thanks for 10 months, says, snazzy outfit, Hannah. Hope everyone's doing well today. I hope you are as well.
Stewart, and he would be taking her. Chris then threw a board at her, which hit her in her arm. Juvenile victim 1 showed me her forearm, and I could see a mark on her arm where the board had hit her, and a bruise was starting to form. And then it goes on and says that he threw the board during the argument, but didn't mean to hit juvenile 1. That's what you told the deputy. He thought she would, quote, get out of the way, quote.
Okay, so that's an admission that you threw it directly at her, believing for some deranged reason that it's her responsibility to fucking dodge the tree you threw at her. God damn it.
You thought you would, quote, get out of
She better fucking send this guy to jail. She better send him to jail.
the way, quote, when you
So he didn't just throw it in her direction, he actually hit her? Yes, he hit her. He's claiming, oh, I was just throwing it in her direction, but it hit her. And in the police report, he apparently said, I thought she'd get out of the way, which does not mean he threw it in her direction. That means I threw it at her, and at best, if he's even telling the truth about saying, I thought she'd get out of the way, it means he felt it was her responsibility to dodge the projectile.
threw a board at her, you hoped you thought she would get out of the way. When you were mad that she got dirt in a tape measure, and now you said, nope, sorry, I'm taking away your pleasure of going deer hunting, which is great to teach a young lady, by the way. And you said, nope, I'm taking away your fun. You're no longer going deer hunting because you got
Midnight Wolf, thanks for 3 stream streaks, as I like these court streams. Yeah, they're enjoyable.
dirt in my tape measure because I love my tools, because that's what I do. And so I got mad. No, you're not going deer hunting. And then she said, no, Dad. In parentheses, I may not be going deer hunting with you, Dad. I'm going deer hunting with my uncle. And I'm going to presume uncle's your brother, Ben. Because Ben, at that time, I'm guessing, was siding with juvenile 1. Because how it laid down here is you thought she would get out of the way. You don't get angry over things like dirt in a tape measure. It's not like she was not picking up the lumber. It's not like she wasn't doing her homework. It's not like she wasn't cleaning up her room. She got dirt in the tape measure. And you got upset when she wasn't listening because you were trying to take something of pleasure away from her. And she said, no, Dad.
Green guy with a $3 tip says, I only DV a little. I know you're making a joke from his perspective. I only DV a little. I only essay a little. I only killed the person a little. That sounds like, what was his name from the Waukesha Parade Incidents Defense? What was his name? Daryl Brooks? Jesus Christ. Chitara says, are you going to cover the chuds losing their cash from the shitcoins Trump and his family are rolling out? There's a guy there who lost over $1 million of generational wealth passed down from his grandfather, freaked out on camera and ended the video with, my wife is going to leave me. I didn't see that. I didn't. I don't know if I want to cover Trump stuff. I'm pretty still dejected about it and pretty much just trying to avoid it so I don't become self-delete-y. Also, Green Guy tipped, so I'm assuming the PayPal link works again. Don't know why it wasn't before. Weird.
Too bad. So yeah, threw a board at her. And your excuse was?
Amber says, also, if you are going to punish someone, the punishment should relate to the mistake. It should be a lesson. Her hunting trip is in no way related to being irresponsible with a tool or not doing her chores.
I thought she'd get out of the way. But she didn't. Because you know what? A man throwing a board, a heavy, I'm going to guess 2x4, goes fast. It's kind of hard for, I think, a 15-year-old, if I'm recalling correctly, to get out of the way. That's rage. That's not a good parent at all. That causes trauma that she will have to live with, and she will have to try and figure out throughout her entire life how to resolve with or without having you in her life. Trying to build boundaries with having you as her father, because she doesn't get to choose. She didn't get to have that choice of, God, let me see, who do I want to have my father? Should I be born to, someone famous or Christopher Stewart? I'll choose
It felt personal.
Christopher Stewart. She didn't get that choice. And I'm not sure if you even truly
If I was the judge, I probably would have said, do I want to be born to a supportive, decent parent or someone who chucks pieces of wood at my head?
comprehend and understand your actions that day? Because I'm going to tell you, that's not the first time that has ever happened. I'm guaranteeing you that. I'm guaranteeing that is not the first time you've reacted that way. I'm guaranteeing you that. You know that. You're acting like you're confused, like that was the first time you've ever acted that way.
First time I guess I've thrown anything.
I
don't believe
that.
you.
I highly don't.
Oh, it's always interesting how these like narcissistic rage people think that they can hide it from everyone until they're up against someone who's like grown up with someone like that. I get the vibe that the judge has dealt with men like this before. God, they're so easy to see through if you're not oblivious. Never thrown anything before. Uh-huh, yeah. I'm sure at whatever your fucking age is, 48 or whatever, you decided to throw something for the first time in your life.
Believe that. If your anger and your boiling of emotion and frustration got to that level where your, as Mr. Davis said, your head wasn't right that day, but your head was so explosive that day over dirt in a tape measure. And your daughter saying, no, Dad, Ben's going to take me hunting.
I've always taken her hunting too, but
Correct, but that
The fact that he's so easy to give excuses for this behavior is emblematic of how normalized this is for him. He does not understand that these explosive anger incidents are not normal. They are incredibly abusive. Holy shit.
me hunting.
I've always taken her hunting too, but
Correct, but that's not the issue. The issue is not who's taking your daughter hunting that day. The issue is you exploded because she got dirt in your tool. You didn't like that. You tried to take something away from her and she stood up to you. She took control. You did not like that. You reacted, you took what you had, the board in your hand, you took that, you used that as a weapon, you gained control by taking that board and throwing it at your daughter, I guess thinking, I thought she'd get out of the way.
I've
Do you know how badly child me and my brain wishes a judge had yelled at my dad like this? Good for her. Genuinely. She's a good judge. Green guy with a $3 tip says, I taught 18-year-olds in the Navy, and every time someone does something, I would assume ignorance and make it a lesson. Most people, it was their first job or time in a new place, and kindness went a long way because the student wouldn't expect it. Yeah, a lot of people just get mad. Good for you, green guy. Hell yeah.
trying to take the cell phone away, but that doesn't work either, so.
Oh, so what, did you try to throw a chair at her that time?
This judge seemed like she had an abusive parent. I'm getting that vibe too. This feels very personal.
Okay,
No, she
so,
just, I take it away and say you're gonna do dishes. That was another time. She just goes next door to her aunt's house, calls her mom. Then I'm an asshole for taking the phone away. Sorry about my language, but then so I can't win at any of this. I've tried. I don't know how to shut the phone off. I pay for it, but I don't know anything about them.
well, that's not the issue. And here's the thing, what you're trying to do.
His immediate response to anything not going how he expects it to go is punitive. Jesus Christ.
You're trying to control this situation right now. You're trying to divert this situation of what happened this day, your conduct, your behavior, to throw it back to the other times you weren't able to parent. I don't know. And that doesn't matter here nor there. Here nor there. Today is why you threw a board at your daughter. Why you let your emotions and your anger explode to throw a physical object, a weapon at your daughter. Now, do I believe that this does deserve a punishment? Yes, I do. But I do believe that there are other matters in the 24CF case that we need to figure out first, because those are very serious as well. There's a whole lot of things other than anger management and parenting classes and stuff. Those are great. Those are grand. Those are wonderful. Those are not enough. Those are not enough for me to determine whether or not you go and have a full psychological evaluation, because that's what my focus is on right now. I could punish you here today and I could send you to jail for 9 months here today. That's not going to accomplish anything but punishment. And that's not going to do anything in the meantime right now while I'm giving Mr. Schmidt and Mr. Davis time to figure out what's happening in the 24 case. So, Mr. Davis.
Now I'm curious what the other case is.
You win. I agree with your argument. Well, not your argument necessarily, but your recommendation. So, at least at this juncture and at least at this point with this case, I will place you on probation for 1 year. Imposed and stayed jail 9 months, consecutive to any other sentence.
Know what that means?
Any other sentence that you may now have or may have in the future.
Your Honor, can you explain to my client what that imposed and stayed means? I don't think he fully got it when I explained it
Don't fuck up or you're going to jail for the full term of the sentence.
to him.
All right. So an imposed and stayed jail sentence means I will place you on probation. That means you will be on probation for a period of 1 year with certain conditions that I will lay out for you bit by bit, word for word, so you can understand them. If you fail to accomplish my conditions, you violate probation, you will be revoked. If you are revoked, you don't come back in front of me for sentencing. You will immediately.
I'm wondering if one of the conditions, because she did mention getting treatment, so I'm wondering if anger management is going to end up being one of the conditions of his probation. I hope so.
Blip, go to jail and sit 9 months of jail. Okay? So it means you must follow what I'm telling you to the letter, to the T. Do everything that I'm telling you you must do. All right? Okay? Is that a yes? You understand?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. The court is going to order $1,000 fines, fees, DNA surcharges, all wrapped up in one little blow that will be paid, that will be due within 30 days. Conditions of probation. One is
Anger management, anger management, anger management.
to have a full spectrum, complete mental health, psych evaluation, absolute sobriety, no alcohol, no illegal drugs. I am ordering an abuser intervention program treatment.
Fuck yeah!
That is a program designated to rehabilitate those who repeatedly use violence towards intimate partners or family. There is a history here of at least charges.
I'm so curious what that's like. You go in there and they're just like, all right, we know you get real angry and you want to beat the shit out of the people you claim to love, but don't do that.
As it relates to domestic abuse or domestic abuse enhancers, and they've been reduced to either ordinances and or deferred prosecution agreements or deferred judgment of conviction. Therefore, you must do an abuser intervention program that is designed to rehabilitate or focus on individuals that repeatedly use violence and other actions towards intimate partners and or family members.
I hope it helps. This guy's a scumbag, but believe it or not, I'd prefer him to get better over the alternative.
Gainful employment, we don't have
It's a way of learning coping systems, I would imagine so. I hope he takes it seriously and takes it to heart.
worry about that.
kind of doubting it. But he has an opportunity, and if he fucks up again, he's going to jail.
And I don't know what's going on with your child support, but make your child support payments. All right, what am I missing,
He's behind on child support too? Jesus.
Mr. Schmidt?
Oh, my day.
Nothing from me.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further from the defense.
All right, then we are adjourned. Thank you.
Well, that guy's what a great guy. Asshole. All right, let's try this one. There's one with Judge Simpson.
Because
Okay.
you don't know what month your child's born. Court does call the case of the people versus Alfred Lamar Jackson.
There is a bond violation that we need to address as well when the court is ready.
Yes, let's deal with this bond violation first.
Okay, and I did not receive the report. However, upon speaking with Mr. Jackson, he does admit that there was contact with alleged victim in this case. However, he stated that what had happened was his son had a birthday party. It was a very large event where there were family members from both sides. He thought because he wasn't having direct contact with her at the party that it was okay for him to be there. I did explain to him that no, that would violate his bond. He
didn't realize that going to the same birthday party as someone he's not allowed to be in contact with is considered contact. Genius.
Understand that. My understanding of what happened was a police officer happened to see him at the party. That there was a no contact.
If you're gonna be doing a bond violation, make sure a police officer wasn't also invited to the party.
Contact order, and then arrested him for violating the order. However, I don't believe that there was any new sort of altercation or anything between the parties. So he also has no objection to a GPS tether.
Anything from the people?
Happened. So he was driving the vehicle. She was the passenger in the vehicle. They had stopped him for no license. So that was the violation. I'm not sure about, I didn't know about the other violation of being at a party together.
Kleeman?
I, again, have not received the bond violation information. I'm just going off of what my client had represented to me about why he was arrested.
What day was his son's birthday?
It was that Monday, that following Monday. And I got caught in the car with her because I took her to get some decorations from the Dollar Tree and the officer pulled me over. And I told you that's how it happened.
What day is your son's birthday?
It was.
Really?
Oh my god, he doesn't know his son's birthday off the top of his head.
It was.
No.
What is the
What
date,
day
not
was
the
he
day of the
born?
week?
It was May. He's like, he just turned 1, so it was May.
You don't know your son's
Knowing how old he is isn't gonna help the date.
birthday?
Man, I just really got back into his life like that, so I wasn't into his life like that, but that's what really happened, Your Honor.
I'm just gonna put this out there, like, if I had a kid out there somewhere and I knew when they were born, I feel like I would never forget their birthday. Like, I feel like that's the kind of thing you go, oh shit, that's the day a little me came out of someone. Oh, fuck. Like, that's crazy. How don't you remember your kid's fucking birthday? That's terrible.
What day was the party?
The party was on a Monday it was May. I can't remember the days because I've been in here so long. It was May. I think it was May. That May month, that second or the third weekend.
Just a peach with a $2 super chat says, my dad does know our birthdays, but there are 7 kids. 7 kids! Okay, I'm probably gonna start forgetting the birthdays after 3 kids. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm not remembering 7 birthdays.
I just know it was not this Monday, but last Monday.
Was that May?
So he's been in custody for about 2 weeks. So I believe that would have been March 24th.
Yes, it was March 21st.
Well, I guess my issue is he was ordered to have no contact. I understood what you said, Ms. Clayman, but I don't know how much more direct contact there is than that. Can I have counsel and myself in chambers, please? Okay, record should reflect there's been a bench conference in this case. My understanding, Ms. Clayman, so that we're clear, he's admitting to the violation.
That is correct, yes.
I'm going to reinstate the defendant's previous bond with an added condition. That is that the defendant will be on a GPS tether. Are you working?
Yes, I had just got a job at Alpha Packing, and I called and update. They said I still got my job when I get out.
You live down on MacArthur?
Yes.
And where's this job?
It's like I forgot where it's at, but it's Alpha Packing. It's no, like I just started working there through Workbox. I got in there through Workbox. And when I went to jail, that was my second day to go to work. But I know it's over there.
Okay, so how'd you get there the first day?
I had drove there the first day through Workbox. I got the job through Workbox. And I used my GPS to get me there, but I forgot the streets.
I don't even know what to say about that. All right, so you don't know what street it's on?
All I remember is down there by West Willow somewhere. It's called Alpha Packing. You can look it up.
Oh, yeah, I should, huh? Because you can't remember where you work. I'm supposed to look it up.
I mean, I'm just not.
Hang on, just hang on, because
Okay.
you don't know what month your child's born in. You don't even know what month it is. You don't know where you work.
And Your Honor, I believe that address that the defendant stated on MacArthur is also where the victim resides.
Sir, when this case is not going, do you live there with Miss Williams?
No, I was staying with my sister. She stays in the next complex. That's where I was gonna go, or I was gonna give me a room for a week until the case over with.
Oh, boy.
So it's in, wait, is it in the same, is, the person he's not supposed to be in contact with is in the same apartment complex?
So this address is in what, Sycamore?
Yes, my sister stay in Danbury.
They're right next to each other.
And I got other family too that stay in other courts. I can go to their houses, or I can get a hotel room.
Resi Bear 10, thanks for following.
Young man, are you on the lease at Sycamore?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. Which means she's gonna lose her housing. Potentially. Your sister's at, you said your sister's at Danbury?
Yeah, she stay in Danbury. Like when you first come in around the roundabout, then I got some family that stays in Willow Run. I could go to their house. I got a sister in Belleville. I could use her address. And I got family that stays in Detroit too. But I wanted to stay in Ipsy so the case, till I get done with the case, or I was gonna get a room for however long the case go up to whatever day it is.
Okay, couple of things. The unit at Sycamore, I'm sure, is a subsidized unit. So he's not supposed to be there. That's why he's not on the lease. Second thing is, if he goes to Danbury, it is likely that that unit also is subsidized and he can't be there. I don't know where these other, you have no idea where these other ones are. I mean, you don't know the way to work, so you don't have their address, do you?
I forgot my sister's address.
Which
But I
sister?
can,
In Danbury?
yes, and I got another
Well, you
sister.
can't stay there because your
Okay,
sister. Go
I got
ahead.
I got a brother that stays over there by the Apple Ridge store, but it's in some trailers. I can go to his house, or I can get a room, a whole room for a week until this case is over with.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna indicate defendant admits to the violation. I'll reinstate his previous bond conditions. But prior to release, court has to be provided a proper address that he's going to reside at. All right, so you understand that?
Yes.
So, young man, it can't be a subsidized unit because
Okay, I can go to my brother's house. He's staying like over there by Apple Ridge, and he stay in a trailer. I can go to his house until it's over with, or I can get a hotel room if that's possible.
I know you said that to me about
What
4
do they
times.
do when the defendant literally just has nowhere to go? Because, like, people who are homeless get picked up all the time. Like, what?
So, Ms. Kleeman, I need a
Yes.
verified address. So I'll reinstate his previous bond conditions and previous bond once I have an address and that's been verified that he can reside there. Otherwise, his no bond will continue. All right. So if I can get a written order over, I would appreciate it, and we can get that done, and then I can do the GPS order.
No, I didn't read way out yet.
Okay, so give me a call later today, sir. That information for your brother, and I'll get into contact
I mean, he's been in jail for a while. Not that there aren't drugs in jail, so it's possible, but I just think he's kind of a chill dude.
with them, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to see, cause I don't know no numbers, and they got my phone and my property.
Okay.
Okay. So the sooner you can verify an address for me, the sooner you can get out.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you both.
Great, thank you.
That's it for us this morning. That's enough.
Try this one. This one's entitled Angry Defendant Lies to the Judge, then Laughs It Off.
I would love to see that. So you can
You know,
see
I
what
would
was
just
in it.
like to have you stop talking.
No.
This is 24 RO09007. Mr. Sutton, your ticket was issued for improper passing back on the 26th
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I do have it saved still.
of November, 8:29 in the morning, southbound I-75 near Lincoln. You've got 3 options in this matter. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
With those choices, it would be admit with explanation.
And what is your explanation, please?
It would be kind of hard to like explain it. Is there any way that I could flip my camera around and show you? Hold on 1 second. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is 11 Mile. This is the on-ramp.
Oh,
This
he
is-
made a little diagram. Okay.
Me, basically, when I got on the on-ramp.
Look at
you
that.
got
He made a little model. Wonder if it's to scale.
cars that were cutting across the 2 lines, cutting in traffic. Then I saw a cop car and a car in front of it, which I thought the dude was broke down and he was just sitting there waiting, because, how sometimes the officers sit there while cars are broke down, because whatever. So I come up and like I gently just kind of went around him because the on ramp was clear to go on, and I was going to 696 westbound, so I would have stayed in his lane. And apparently he didn't like that, and he came after me
Well, you drove on the shoulder, did you not?
like a foot, not even. Like
So
my
you drove
right
on the
tire,
shoulder.
like barely. Like I said, you have all these cars cutting across the lane. I thought it was a broke down situation because you got cars cutting across
They should ban the software, Chiba Hawk. That way you get to play with toy cars all day. That's much more fun.
double lines into traffic behind him, and it was wide open in front of him. So at first I thought that was a situation between them two cars, the officer and the other car. And like I said, I come up the ramp, I was sitting there, then I was like, okay, is this guy broke down or what? And no one was moving, so I needed to go straight. And that's kind of what I did. I mean, obviously, an officer sitting there, I ain't gonna be like, hey, let me break the law in front of him. But that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what happened. You simply can't drive on a shoulder.
Right, but driving on the shoulder, 4 tires, that's one thing. My right
Driving on the
tire,
shoulder is one thing, and that's the only one thing. It doesn't matter if there's 1 tire or 4. You can't drive on the shoulder.
okay, but how can you have other cars crossing double lines then?
Sometimes you have to wait.
Explain that.
I can
The
explain that this
officer
is
and
your
the car
third
in
ticket
front
in a
of me
year.
were, that has nothing to do with improper lane change. Even the
It wasn't
officer
improper
car
lane
was
change, it
across
was
the
improper
line,
passing.
so he was improper to begin with. So how was
Mr. Sutton, are you admitting or denying?
Yeah, once you start getting into like a little petty argument with the judge, you're already in a bad place. Probably let it go. Probably don't start quibbling.
I told you that
And I understood that you said yes, you admitted responsibility. You rightly admitted responsibility. The fine is $130. It can be paid online, by mail, or you can pay it at the courthouse counter.
and what's the
That was like the quickest traffic court I've ever seen. What was that, 3 minutes?
points on this?
That's between you and the Secretary of State. The court doesn't give the points. I can tell you.
I revoke I'm not guilty on claim it. Because the cop was over 2 lines. He was between these 2 yellow lines.
I
And why-
revoke. Just a peach with a $5 super chat says, I saw the comment about Roald Dahl. He once met Beatrix Potter as a kid. She politely told him to go away because she was not a fan of strange kids. That sounds about right.
Because there's 2 lines you ain't supposed to cross when you get on the on-ramp. People are already crossing it.
You ain't supposed to cross them lines.
Even I told the officer when I got out, look at all these people cutting across. How am I supposed to know what you guys are doing? And he, like the officer said, you are responsible for your own actions. Exactly. I safely cruised around him. I didn't fly around him. I did like 2 miles per hour, just creeped around him, thinking that car in front of him was broken down.
If you want the hearing, you'll have to stop talking so we can start it. Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be
Golden Loki says, I used to do camera for traffic court for a bit. It's amazing how fast they can go sometimes, usually less than 5 minutes unless it's a DUI, OWI case. Yeah, I imagine they have a huge docket. They gotta just boom, 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 boom. Get them done.
truth?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
The officer will testify first.
All right, thank you, Magistrate. On November 26th, approximately 8:29 in the morning, I was in unmarked car 805. I was dispatched to a call on westbound 696 as there was a heavy traffic backup due to large spill of dirt, probably from some sort of commercial grade vehicle. Traffic because of this was incredibly backed up on southbound I-75. I was on the on-ramp from southbound Stevenson, which is essentially, it's considered the 11-mile on-ramp, but it's the start of the on-ramp basically starts just now north of 4th. And I was fully within my lane. There was cars in front of me trying to merge over into the stop lane of traffic. Prior to the construction, that on-ramp lane continued as one continuous lane of 696. However, since everything's been constructed and redone, it no longer does that. It merges onto actual lanes of traffic and does not continue as one continuous lane. I was waiting for my traffic to clear so that I could continue forward and also merge over. While I'm waiting, the vehicle driven by Mr. Sutton, which was a 2013 black Jeep Grand Cherokee, drove past me almost completely on the shoulder, not by just a couple of feet, but almost completely. If I am allowed to admit into evidence, I would like to admit my dash camera video into evidence to
Oh, hell yeah. Can we see it?
support my testimony.
Show it.
Okay, can you play that now?
Play that beautiful
Yes.
bean
Give me 1 moment to
footage.
get everything pulled up. Are you able to see it?
I want to see this guy absolutely fucking get pointed out his lies. Yes.
Okay.
Do it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Magistrate.
We've all seen this asshole, right? We've all been in some kind of like traffic backup and some asshole thinks like, oh, there's this whole lane over here on the shoulder. Why isn't anyone else doing this? We live in a society. You don't get to use the shoulder. Wait in line. I'm so fucking tired of these people. This guy can get fucked. Jail. Straight to jail. He was in front of a cop and did this. He was, yes, in front of a cop. I don't think he saw the cop pulling up behind him. We live in a society, damn it!
Would you like to see that again?
Please.
We're gonna go back and play it again. Oh, unmarked cop car? That makes sense. Welpy says, I used the shoulder in traffic once, but my wife was in labor with our first. I think that's the one situation that everyone universally agrees is okay. You know, when someone is actively in labor, or there's a medical emergency, that's whatever. That's fine. I don't care. You're not doing it to just be an asshole. Like, contractions don't care about the traffic, you know? Wow, look at that motherfucker go. What an asshole. Yeah, and then you pull him over. What a dick. Yeah, now, see, this is what the shoulder is for when you get pulled over for improperly using the shoulder, dickbag.
Magistrate, further, I would like to add in testimony that I had no rear lights on to indicate that I was behind any traffic that was disabled or anything. As my video clearly shows, I was within my lane of traffic, merely waiting for vehicles that, again, were within their lane, attempting to merge over into a merged lane, into basically what was equivalent of stopped traffic in southbound I-75. Let me pull up this again. All right, can you see me again?
Yes.
Share, okay.
The judge does not look amused.
I have no further to add.
Mr. Sutton, you saw the film?
Yeah, and I'm assuming
That's the best thing you can say. You saw that, right, sir? How you were just pulled out with video evidence? Okay.
that's sped up, by the way, because
It's sped up! It doesn't... What do you mean? It doesn't matter if it's sped up. This isn't a speeding ticket.
the officer
Did you
was
see
sitting
the
there for a
film,
good
sir?
minute. Yes, I see the film, but
Did you
as
see
I
the vehicle?
He's so mad. You can tell in his voice. He's like, yeah, I see the video. I didn't know that there was dash cam footage.
it's sped up.
Did you see the vehicle on the ramp?
The
Did you
vehicle
see
that was
the-
in front of him, yes.
You had told me that you only had one wheel over on the shoulder.
That's what it looked like to me.
Well,
I-
Wow, it's amazing how I have one wheel in this non-lane, but I'm able to just completely drive through it with my whole vehicle. Chitara says, good thing he swore after he told that tall tale and before the evidence was shown. And there's a hydrate command, which I can certainly do.
I went
Did you
around
see,
him.
did you just see the video that showed all your entire vehicle driving down the shoulder?
Yes, I did.
The little giggle.
But as I said, he was sitting there with no lights on, no nothing. Is that video sped up? Because I waited for a good minute.
The speed of the video is irrelevant. Why do you keep talking about the speed? This has nothing to do with speed.
Before he even moved.
Mr. Sutton, your testimony isn't true.
What do you mean?
The picture
Isn't
shows
true?
you drove through.
What do you mean it isn't true? He means it's a falsehood. You lied. You told mistruth. You said things that were not. You claimed claims that turned out to not be factual.
On the shoulder. You had said.
I never said I
repeatedly.
didn't.
Yes, you did.
I never
You said
said
you
I
only had
didn't drive
one
on the
tire
shoulder.
kind of on it.
I said I was a couple foot over the line with the right
We're in
side.
a couple feet. It was the
And you were not.
entire vehicle. Pay your ticket. We're done.
Real quick, does he have his back view? Because I would love to see that.
What is that relevant to? You were in front of him.
I would just like to have you stop talking.
No.
I don't need a back view. You can tell from the front exactly where I am and exactly how I am. You don't get to just drive around people. He doesn't get it. He didn't get it there. He doesn't get it now. That video doesn't make it any more clear.
It couldn't be any more clear. Back view. We don't need it. He repeatedly said just one tire, a couple feet. And not only that, the rate at which he drove past you could have given rise to another ticket.
If that was sped up, then like you can clearly see, you can see the timestamp right on it. Everything is going at exactly the same time.
Real time.
Yes. There's no change whatsoever in that.
Oh, that's
Well, that was
funny.
fun.
Yeah, I figured you'd like it.
Yeah.
Would have actually played the YouTube back to him of him repeatedly saying, I just had one tire, he still would have denied that too,
Yes.
for sure.
I love these dash cameras. I love these body cameras. I have nothing to hide. They are a phenomenal tool. They only make my
Could
job
be up a little higher, Baba Booey.
easier, and they only back up my credibility.
Safer. People can make an allegation and it's hard to unring the bell. When you've got it on film, there was a case not so long ago about an allegation of a prisoner in the back of a vehicle said that police officers stopped when they were bringing her to the station and committed all kinds of nefarious acts on her. They had the film timed. And it showed her the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And the allegations that she made against those two men were criminal acts.
Yes.
And could have resulted in them going to prison.
Mm-hmm. I sure hope she was charged, because all too often I find administrators not willing to charge for false report.
That's a felony.
Yes, it is.
And although we have to wait a minute or so before the next person.
Weird cut. Moving on.
The Sinaloa cartel has been threatening my family. these different organizations that
The court on first appearance docket is Jacob Allen Lemucool. And there's no case assigned as of this time. No case filed. And announcements to the court, Mr. Regier.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's understanding is this case has been very recently brought to my colleague's attention. Therefore, the state is requesting that this matter be over to the Friday first appearance setting.
And the court does order this matter set over to Friday, December 13, 2024 at 1:30, Friday, December 13, 2024 at 1:30. And court makes inquiry in regards and recommendation requested from the state as to appropriate bond.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, if the court is prepared to take up the issue of bond at this time, based off of a very cursory review of the affidavit in this matter, the state is recommending a bond in the amount of $10,000. I will, of course, defer to the court as to whether or not that should be cash, surety, OR, but the state does acknowledge this is a somewhat unusual situation.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. And Mr. Lemucool?
Yes, sir.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
It's Lemucool, but yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Mr. Lemucool. I need to find out a little bit of information from you in order to set appropriate bond. What is your current address?
I was living in a car and staying with my mom. It's
South MacArthur. Is that in a trailer park?
yes, sir. It's a lot.
Okay. And what's your mother's name? And would you consider yourself homeless? Is that the standard?
Yeah. I mean, I was in the process of getting my check for $3,200. I was going to get my own place. I was actually headed down to the FBI in Topeka to talk to them. I got a whole lot going on, Your Honor. I've been building a case for the past 8 years. It's got to do with a whole bunch of stuff. I really don't want to break down right now. It'd take me forever, but I had a whole bunch of evidence in that car with me pertaining to this case that I had saved up from deceptive staff, people that are doing human sex trafficking and
mental illness,
rapists, and just children were involved as well. And it really would hurt me if I lost all that documentation and paperwork that was there. So I was wondering if there's any way possible if you guys could get that stuff saved for me, the backpack full of paperwork in there and the other stuff that I had in that vehicle. My mom's foot got chopped off. The Sinaloa cartel has been threatening my family. These different organizations, the motorcycle gang, the Mongols. I've been raped. I've been sexually assaulted by a staff member in one of the facilities. And as well, I got
Okay. I'm moving on. This guy's having a mental health episode. Ugh.
No.
We already did Judge Simpson earlier. Lots of Judge Simpson videos today.
So I had a problem with it, and that's why all this is happening right now. Because I ended up telling her that she couldn't leave just because she didn't want to tell me who it was. That's just a crazy amount of money. Like, how do you expect me to pay rent and pay my car payment and pay for him when he comes? The hundreds of dollars I spend when he's with me because I have to go to Scavenging because you guys only let me get him 48 days out of the year.
This is a guy not wanting to pay child support. Another deadbeat. Shocking.
I'm not paying that amount.
Yeah, if you haven't already, liked the stream on YouTube, please. I'd appreciate it.
Why not? I gotta live too. What do you think? Does money comes free? Like, what?
Yes.
Gee, I wonder who he voted for.
Hey, ma'am, you filed a motion regarding parenting time. What are you requesting as far as that motion is concerned and why?
I filed for the parenting plan for Cody to follow the actual parenting plan and take Roman when he is supposed to, and to change the transportation to Cody picking him up from my house and dropping him off due to him always having to deal with him with
Ultimate Undying says, I really wish we could get Judge Simpson to say I'm a judge. You're fucked.
him threatening me.
I am in Michigan, so I'll tell you what, if I ever come across him, like at a Meijer or something, I'll be like, Judge Simpson, I know you don't know me, but I know you. That comes off as creepy. Maybe don't open with that. Will you please say this thing? Of course he wouldn't. I would never ask a judge to do that, but it would be fun. All's Done Dying says, I really wish we could get Judge... Oh, I just read that. Green Guy with the $3 tip says, I like to take a bath for my mental health episodes.
You how?
Baths are nice.
What do
I wish I had a jacuzzi tub.
you mean? He's right, just in multiple
Never
different
been in a jacuzzi tub? Magical.
ways. Physically, with court, with taking my son away from me.
All right. So you don't want to change the time at all, the parenting time, you want to remain the same, but you want Mr. Tabor to do all the transportation?
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, why not?
Why should I have to be responsible? I have to go to her house every time and go when she lives an hour away. It's not like I asked her to move an hour away. We've lived in Grand Rapids our whole life and she chose to move back to Nuevo.
Right.
It's not cheap, you know, it's not like it's a 5-minute ride, you know, that's 2 hours, an hour there, hour back, hour there, that's 4 hours, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, the first thing she said was she wants you to follow the parenting time. Are you not following?
No, you know what it is? It's because what? My mom will get them on Fridays. I work third shift, and my mom gets them on Fridays because she likes to have them at night. And then I get them Saturday. And all this is because of her wanting to go to Tennessee, which I was going to let her go, but she wanted to not. She didn't fail to tell me until the day before of her leaving to go to Tennessee. And
Green Guy says, Hannah, you don't get funds, do you? Fun is a lie.
And then she wants to tell me that she's going out of state the day before.
Fun is a lie to keep you from realizing what a black hole reality is.
So I agreed to it.
Don't
upset,
trust Big Fun.
but she didn't want to tell me who she was bringing my son around to go travel out of state with. So I had a problem with it, and that's why all this is
Black's
happening
Law Dictionary request. What do you want me to look up?
right now. Because I ended up telling her that she couldn't leave just because she didn't want to tell me who it was. So now she's all mad about it, and that's why all this is getting brought up now.
What's that matter? Who she's going with?
Because I don't want somebody butt fucking my kid or something.
Oh,
I don't know who it's gonna be around my son.
Fucking what? Oh, this guy is what a normal guy. Page 666, last full definition on the page. All right.
Don't trust people. There's so many pedophiles out in this world nowadays.
These people are deranged, unironically. What the fuck? If you're constantly obsessed with pedophilia, maybe you have mental issues you need checked. Maybe instead of looking at other people in the world and saying they're all pedophiles, you need help. Said last full definition on page 666. Hudgeld, in Old English law, an acquittance for an assault upon a trespassing servant. Also, the price on one's skin, or the money paid by a servant to save himself from a whipping. Oh, Jesus. What? I don't have the emotional bandwidth to get into that. Okay.
If I don't have a feel for a person, or at least, know who my son's going to be around. You're traveling out of state. I don't need a call from an emergency because she's drunk somewhere and who knows what's happened to my son.
Has that been a problem in the past?
Yes.
So right now you guys meet somewhere in the middle to exchange a child?
At Cedar Springs.
Clip that song. It'll be in the Book of Hymns in the Temple of Paul.
Carpool. Which is fine with me.
Yeah, ma'am, what's the problem with that?
Because it's always, or it's not the problem necessarily that it's there, but I
swap the piss moratorium for the singing moratorium. No.
At least every month, I have to deal with Cody texting me or calling me excessively and threatening me. So every time I do have to go there and exchange Roman, I'm on edge because of everything he's said, threatening. And I would feel more comfortable at my own house
I don't feel comfortable at her house.
I can ask somebody to go with me or meet somebody else. And I have tried that with his mom, but like he said, she does pick him up. So the only issue really is dropping him off at the end of his parenting time.
So are the threats through texts or emails or some kind of written format?
Some of them are through text, yes.
Oh. You haven't attached any of those to your motion though?
I did not know.
What if you each just pick the child up at the beginning of your time from the other party without necessarily going to their house, but going somewhere in the vicinity of their house? So you're still doing equal travel, but you're not meeting in the middle, and you're not having to go to the other person's house. You're meeting at like a parking lot somewhere.
That's what we do now. We meet at the carpool.
Well, I know you do. That's in the middle, so you're both traveling every time. This would have one of you traveling for each trip, but you'd split the number of trips.
I guess I'm a little confused on what you mean.
So when Mr. Tabor's picking the child up, he would come up to wherever you live and pick the child up, not at your house.
Givazoa, thanks for a 260 stream streak, says 740 to go.
You know, like
I'm just gonna start a stream and stop it immediately to get rid of your streak.
a gas station or a carpool lot near your house or a grocery store parking lot or something. And then when you pick the child up, you drive down there. You wouldn't go to his house, but you'd go to somewhere nearby. I don't know, whatever is convenient. So you'd each be still doing half the travel. Because he has a good point. I don't know that I can make him do 100% of the travel. Parenting time could change if there was proof presented that there were threats being made. One of the parenting time factors is the safety of the child and the safety of the other parent for purposes of parenting time. So if I was conclusively convinced that
To charge me with kidnapping because he says no, he forbids me to go.
all right, you've got no right to do that. That's ridiculous. It's not parental kidnapping. You've got a parenting time order that says he's supposed to have that time, but then you've also got that text or message or whatever that says he waived that time. You've got the absolute right to take your child wherever you want, unless you're going to a country
Heck yeah, Harold Doubleman, I'm glad.
Not part of the Hague Convention during parenting time that's either yours or times that you have the child that was waived by the other party. The police, that's kind of an empty threat. Maybe the police will be called, but 99 times out of 100, they leave those actions up to the front of the court or the court to figure out if it's not a crime and you've got written documents. You're the legal parent, and you've got a waiver of the parenting time rights.
So I could just take off out of state with him too then, right?
During your time, sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Was he not expecting that answer? Like, what the fuck?
Something in your order that prohibits it.
These people always think everything is so unfair. It really isn't. You're just a douchebag.
You got the absolute right to do whatever you want during your parenting time as far as travel and things like that, except, like I said, you go out of the country, the places you go have to be countries that are part of the Hague Convention. That's the only limitation. If it occurs during your time, or as we'll say, time that the other party has waived and given you in addition to your own time.
Cool.
With that clarification, I don't know that there need to be any changes made to the parenting time order per se. Pam, where do you want to have Mr. Tabor pick the child up at the beginning of his time in the vicinity of your residence?
Well,
or do I just keep Cedar and keep it in the middle? Which obviously still makes sense.
Well, yes, I mean, I get that, Cody, but every time that we have to meet, there's always an issue.
I don't see the difference if we were somewhere else.
Because you give me anxiety having to meet you.
Give me anxiety every time to meet you. It's the same way. It's vice versa. It goes both ways.
I didn't ask the two of you to have a conversation, ma'am. I asked you where you wanted to meet in the close vicinity of your residence when Mr. Tabor picks the child up?
We can meet at the gas station down the road.
What kind of gas station is it? And what road is it on?
It is Hilltop General Store on 36th Street, I believe.
Sir, you know where that is?
Yep, sure do.
All right, sir, where do you want to meet to exchange the child when the child's picked up by mom?
At Walgreens on 44th and Breton.
Ma'am, you know where that is, or can you find it?
Yes.
All right. So that would resolve the parenting time issues. Ma'am, you also filed a child support motion, is that right?
Yes.
All right, is there any support set right now?
I send her money. I send her money every month mostly. Most time I offered her $300
every month mostly.
The other day she didn't want it. She said she wants $400.
Okay. Support motion, so we'll go through that. What'd you say, ma'am?
I was trying.
Did he call her? What did he say? Hold on.
So we'll go through that. What'd you say, ma'am?
I was trying to say that it's not that he says that he offered that and I didn't want that. I responded the way that he came to me saying that he's only going to give me $300 if I deal with it through the court. He will not pay it. So I told him I was going to continue to file it or go through the court.
All right. Well, let me get the information I need to run support. I don't just necessarily go with what you request. We have a child support calculation, so we'll run the numbers through that and see what comes out. So ma'am, where do you work?
I work for Vision Real Estate Investment.
How much do you make there?
$15.89
per hour.
Yes.
Is that full time?
Yes.
Do you have any other income from any other source?
No.
Do you have any additional minor children other than child on this case?
No.
Sir, where do you work?
Columbia. Logistics.
How much do you make there?
18
per hour.
Yes, sir.
Full time?
Yeah, I've been slow lately though. Like, I don't know, the last few weeks been only like 30 hours a week. So.
Okay, do you have any other income from any other source?
No, sir.
Do you have any other minor children?
Jesus, how do two people, one making 15 something an hour and another person making 18 an hour, 30 hours a week afford a child? How are I struggle, like we struggle and we don't have kids. How are people out here surviving with like full ass children to pay for? Jesus Christ.
Children other than the child in this case?
No, sir.
Okay. And you've got that parenting time agreement that had been put forth at the final hearing. Did either of you calculated the number of overnights that that parenting time agreement has?
I have.
What is it?
Cody has 48 per year.
Sir, does that sound about right?
Sure does.
So 317 then, and 48?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. And how old is the child?
6.
6. Ma'am, do you have any child care expenses? Daycare?
Not at the moment, no.
All right. And ma'am, when you file your taxes, do you claim the child or does Mr. Tabor claim the child?
I claim the child.
Okay. So when you file your taxes, you have 2 exemptions, yourself and the child?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, when you file taxes, you just claim yourself?
Just myself.
Okay. And does this child have health insurance, ma'am?
Yes, he does. Medicaid.
Okay. Let's see. Do either of you have insurance available at work?
But not yet, but yeah.
You said not yet, but yes.
My company did cutbacks and I had to move to a different company.
Oh, so you don't have it available?
I'm almost at my 90 days.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, you don't have health insurance available through work?
I do. Open enrollment, I believe, is coming up
Oh, okay.
within the next few months.
All right. Ms. Evan, anything I missed?
Let me double check here. Tiara, do you claim head of household when you file, or do you claim single?
Head of household.
Cody, you claim single, correct?
I believe so.
I think that's all I need. Cody, are you hired in directly to Columbia, or are you working through a temp service?
Through a temp service.
Is that through Elwood?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And at the 90 days, will they be hiring you in?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know approximately when that is?
No, because I go by hours, but my hours, so I am not sure, but I know it's coming up soon. It shouldn't be that much longer.
So the calculation would have Mr. Tabor paying $496 child support, $19.
He wanted it to be 300. She told him at least 400, and it's higher than that. He can get fucked.
Ordinary medical for a total of $515 a month.
The whole thing is sad. They're both financially far below what they need to raise a kid. Yeah, society's fucked. Are people still pretending society isn't, like, completely fucked and we're already past the point of no return? Catch up.
All right.
It's over.
Kidding me.
Ma'am, are you all right with that amount?
Yes, I am.
Sir, you okay with that amount?
I'm not paying that amount.
Why not?
I gotta live too. What do you think? Does money comes free? Like what? I don't even have physical custody. Why do I have to pay that much? As much as if she has, give me physical custody and pay me $500 a month.
Well, that's part of the reason why it's higher is because you don't have very many owners.
Can we reschedule this? Can I get a lawyer?
No, you can file an objection if you don't like the result of the hearing.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to file an objection.
Okay, the instructions on how to do that will be in the order. The amount can be deviated from if you can provide good cause or that it's inappropriate or unjust. Did you have anything else you wanted to say other than you're not paying it?
Yeah, that's just a crazy amount of money. Like, how do you expect me to pay rent and pay my car payment and pay for him when he comes? The hundreds of dollars I spend when he's with me because I have to go to because you guys only let me get him 48 days out of the year.
Well, that's an agreement that the two of you made. That's not something you say that you guys only let me get him 48 days out of the year. That's an agreement you made.
Well, then how can I split it where I get half the year?
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt. You both came to court with that agreement hammered out. That's not something that was imposed on you by the court.
All right. Well, then how do I get it? Well, then I want to file for full custody.
Well, you can file your own motions, but that's not why we're here.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. At this point, I'll go with that amount then, $515 a month. That'd be effective.
If I don't pay it, what happens?
If you don't pay the amount that's ordered, the matter is usually set for, you'll get a notice in the mail that you're not paying and a request to contact the friend of the court. If it's not resolved that way, then a show cause will be filed. At a show cause, you could be held in contempt, ordered to make payments, a jail sentence could be held in abeyance.
Is it pay or stay, right? I'll send in jail for that. It's just pay or stay, right? I can send in jail for a couple hundred. That's cool. It was like 5 days.
Well, the money doesn't go away if you go to jail.
Oh, whatever. I'll sit there. I don't care. I'd rather sit in jail than pay that.
You still owe it.
Then go to jail.
So it's 90.
Whatever.
It'd be 45 days for a first offense, 90 for subsequent offense.
Oh, well. That's easy enough. Do that on my head.
Your credit will be affected. You could lose passports, license.
I don't have nothing anyways. I don't care. Does not bug me not one bit. I don't have nothing to take. Go ahead, whatever you want to do.
Driver's license?
Whatever, take it. I don't care. I'll drive without one. You guys like don't understand. Look at my record. The law doesn't bug me not one bit. I do not care, not one bit.
Oh, that's a good attitude.
Yeah. Why is their child support so low? Because I pay like $200 a month, $300 a month for.
It cuts to a different thing. Don't know why it cut like that. All right, what else we've got? Someone's mom showed up to court instead of themselves.
Here on behalf of Mr. Parks instead of Mr. Parks.
I'm trying to get this application to cooperate. I sent him the notification that he was supposed to come for court using Zoom, but he's not tech savvy, and neither am I. And because as you can see, it took a moment for me to even unmute and then come to screen where I could show video. So that may be what the problem is. He was supposed to be in on,
where is he?
Let's see, 2:00.
Where is he?
He's working at a friend's house. They're helping put up some barns or something.
So you can't not, your kid can't not show up to court. That's not how this works. You think your kid could be like, oh, I gotta go, I'm busy, show up to court for me. That's not how any of this works. What in the world?
Not barns, but tool shed.
Okay, why didn't he know beforehand that he had trial? Or I mean, he had an appearance.
Yes, ma'am, he does know. I sent him the notification. I was trying to contact him.
Okay, so ma'am, hold on a second.
Well, that's not good. Just a Peach with a $2 super chat says, I have a friend's ex-wife only had to pay $40 refused. Jesus Christ. Nelson JD, thanks for 3 months of subscription on Twitch.
Sorry.
This is what we women do for the men in our lives all the time. We try and fix it for them. But he's grown. And so if he knew ahead of time that he was supposed to be here, there are two options. You can come to court or you can come in by video. Either way, he should have been in court today. I don't care that he's working at somebody's house and all of that there. His responsibility was to be in court.
This judge is being very reasonable. I thought she was going to get mad at the mom, but she's not. She's just like, this isn't your place. You can't fix this for him. That's a pretty reasonable response.
Number two, the calendar that he was on is a calendar because he has missed one or more court dates previously.
This isn't even the first time he's missed it. Oh, this guy's fucked. What an idiot.
Bench warrant bond forfeiture calendar. So he's already in bench warrant status. That was for the opportunity for him to clean that up. And sending you is not going to fix it. So he's still in bench warrant status. He could be picked up at any time and returned to jail. He needs to appear with his attorney in court, in the building. Video is no longer an option for him.
I beg your pardon, ma'am. Apologies and no disrespect. To my knowledge, he doesn't even have a lawyer.
Okay, but he needs to show up.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm trying to reach him. I've been trying to see if he would activate the Zoom. I've been trying to explain to him he has to come in through Zoom. But I haven't received any response from him. So I'm actually surprised that I was able to even come over on Zoom at this point because I'm trying desperately. Like I said, I didn't even know. I realized the time and I realized the date like at 1:24 and realized that we were.
How old is Mr. Parks, ma'am?
And realized we were past due. Yes, ma'am.
How old is Mr. Parks?
35.
Oh my God! I thought she was gonna say he was like 19 or 21 or something, and you know, and I'm thinking like, yeah, he's an adult, but like he's a dumb kid adult, you know? He's older than me! Yeah, okay, alright, I have significant, yeah, okay, well. What do you do with that, you know?
So he's good and grown.
I'm sorry, not 35. He's 43. I'm sorry.
Oh my God! What? He's 43?
mixing my,
He's
my
good, as the old people say, good and grown.
yes, ma'am.
He should be able to handle his affairs.
Yes, ma'am. He should.
So this is no longer your responsibility.
Could see, and I'm not blaming this mom, no matter how old your kid is to you, they're still your kid. So I get where she's coming from. However, come on, man, like he's old enough to have his own kids. Like he should know better. Like this is not your job to come on here and try and make excuses for him. Like he good and fucked up. Like it is what it is. That's on him. Oh, there's a juggle command. Will do.
Responsibility. It's Mr. Park's responsibility. And when I see him,
he could in theory be a grandfather. Yeah.
We can talk about it and get it worked out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
I'm trying to get him to at least.
Now, it's not your responsibility. Mr.
I
Parks is the only one who has jail on the line. If he does not have enough gumption to get himself to court, either through video or in person, you're trying to save him is just a handicap. Because what happens if you're not available to save him? He's got to be motivated on his own.
Yes, ma'am.
We keep trying to save men and boys, and what we do is we turn them into people who can't function in life.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is his responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. And I do apologize.
That's okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, Your Honor, I'm looking. I still do have a question for you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is that if we are in a civil court, the jurisdiction, right now, that was what my question was about. And I guess I need a little help with you explaining the jurisdiction to me. This is a civil matter.
Gitara says, please tell me there's a follow-up to that. That was bad. Let me see if moving forward, if there's anything.
We'll get you your, you got her email address. We'll go ahead and send the appeal.
Oh God, is this the guy?
You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Go ahead and tell me what you need me to hear, sir.
This is later in the same video, so I'm not sure if this is the guy or not.
He
doesn't look 43, but I don't know.
Your Honor, I really don't need you to hear anything. I'm just trying to go ahead and get this over with. I did.
Okay, maybe this is the guy based on the dismissiveness with which he's taking this official court appearance.
Some things that was destroyed. I tried to get Allie to pay me back for the things because I had to get somebody to help me clean up the things that she did. That's pretty much it. That's it.
Y'all don't have any reason to continue to have contact. Is that correct, sir?
No, we don't.
Okay. All righty. All right, Mr. White, anything on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we just ask that you accept a negotiated plea in this case.
All right, Ms. Barrett, I need to see you.
I have no idea if this is a related case
so Ms.
or not.
Barrett, I'm going to accept your plea of nolo. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 3 days credit for time served, but the balance will be probated for you to take an anger management class. The probation office has a list of anger management classes that the court will accept. So just don't Google one because it may not be one that the court will take into account.
Are they going to be here in Gwinnett County?
I'm sorry?
Will they be here in Gwinnett County?
No, ma'am. They're in Clayton County. That's where the crime was committed.
Okay, well, when I had talked to Mr. White, he said that they were options for them to not be there because once again, I don't live in Clayton County.
My understanding is that with probation, they're typically able to allow anger management to be done outside of Clayton if somebody lives in a different county. From my experience working with probation, Your Honor.
Yeah, but she still has to report, Mr. White, and I usually try not to promise anything on behalf of probation because I don't know all of their procedures and I don't like to make their lives hard. That's not what I do. And so when I say I'm going to put her on probation, then that I let Mr. Carmichael and the probation officers inform her of how things will work. And so yeah, I don't have a problem if she takes a class that is not based in Clayton County, as long as it is approved by probation, but she still got to report to probation. And that's going to be the sticking point, it seems, because she keeps saying that she's in Gwinnett County. That's neither here nor there for me. She's still got to report to probation.
Okay.
And as I tell everyone, failure to report to probation is the quickest way to get rearrested. That's all I got.
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Barrett, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Carmichael, and you can. All right, thank you, Mr. Carmichael. Let me put my psychic hat on. You're gonna tell
Thank
me
you.
that
Your Honor, I can be excused.
Yes, sir. Miss Barrett
Thank
didn't
you.
come into the breakout room.
No. She's in the breakout room, but she's kind of struggling to give me the answers that I need to bring her on the probation.
Oh, well then, okay. What is it you need? In fact,
I'm trying to work with her. She says that she's on parole in Gwinnett County, and I'm trying to get why she's on there is for the reason for probation, and she's failing to provide that answer.
Miss Janvier, you got her record. You know why she's on parole?
I don't understand why she wouldn't tell them. Obviously, the court knows
I'm sorry
that.
to trouble you.
No, you're not troubling me, sir. We are partners in getting these cases resolved.
This judge is so nice.
If you can't find it, then I'll just have to ask the probation officer to look into it.
No, hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I have an updated criminal history. One moment.
Okay,
I have
Mr. White, did you want me to put you in the breakout room so you maybe could give her a sense of who she's messing with? Because I really am not the one. I have advised her in open court that she is to meet with probation and get probation sign up. But if she's not going to actively sign up with probation, then I can go ahead and hit her with them 20 days of contempt that I feel right at the tip of my fingers. Miss Val, you still got one of them orders hanging around somewhere?
Oh, Your Honor, I don't know if this is it.
You've not watched a lot of these. Are there ever any rude judges? Yeah, usually the Texas judges. Whenever I see a judge from Texas, I usually kind of groan. There is an exception to that. There's that really nice Texas judge with the bow tie. He's normally a pretty snazzy dresser. But a lot of Texas judges are just the driest, oldest, angry Republican white men. And they just, they have a whole vibe that's not great.
It might be she said Gwinnett County?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a theft by shoplifting, maybe?
Yeah.
And Your Honor, I did just speak with Miss Barris. She said that she just simply didn't understand the question. I could go in there with her to hopefully potentially explain
why don't you
anything.
do that? Because I think Miss Barrett understands fully what's going on. She just being hard-headed. And tell her she's just making things more difficult. Because outside of this sentence, if she is in direct contempt of the court, she can get 20 days right off the bat. And I will send somebody to Gwinnett to pick her up if she needs help.
Understood,
If
Your
she
Honor.
can't make it to Clayton County, we will provide county-sponsored Uber.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
all right, thank you.
That's nice. I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool.
You.
The officer met with a Mr. Stanley Glass, who advised that his neighbors, the defendant, Mr. Coney, and another male, were knocking on doors. And the officer had the opportunity to speak with the defendant as well as the other individual, and they advised they were trying to get their neighbors, ask neighbors to buy something for them.
County-sponsored Uber is a euphemism for police car to arrest. That makes way more sense than what I was thinking. I thought, oh, they're actually, if you can't get there, okay. No, you meant a cop car. That makes more sense.
With an ID. The officer at that time asked for the other individual's ID. He provided his ID. He asked the defendant, Mr. Coney, for his ID. He said he did not have.
I don't mean to be too self-deprecating, but my brain is not working today because that's about 2 steps away from me falling for someone asking me to go get them, headlight fluid or something. The fact that I was like, oh, county Uber.
Have one. Then he asked for his name, date of birth, and he provided that his name was Joel Vinson, and his date of birth was October the 9th of 2021. The state is recommending 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for the time they served, the balance to be suspended, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Hahn?
Your Honor, we ask that you accept the state's recommendation. I did speak to Mr. Coney about the dangers of using somebody else's name. He understands that. He understands the risk, and he assures me that it will not happen again. So again, we just ask that you accept the recommendation.
All right, Mr. Coney, you don't want anybody putting charges
Want to buy a bridge? That depends. What bridge?
on you using your name. Don't do that to somebody else. That's horrible.
Yes,
Somebody could get into a very serious and dangerous situation because they know
the version when I was a teenager in high school and I worked at McDonald's. The McDonald's version of that kind of thing, of a board stretcher, was bananas. For all I know, maybe they do have bananas now because of smoothies or something. But back then, McDonald's certainly did not have bananas. You'd tell new employees, hey, will you go to the back and get some bananas? And they'd just be looking for a long time. There were no bananas.
know that they don't have charges, and you're out there giving their name, and the next thing you know, they have a very negative encounter with law enforcement. And that's not fair to law enforcement or to that person. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, how old are you, Mr. Corey?
22 years old.
So, Mr. Corey, you're in that phase that my sister has this phrase. She said, you're in that 20 stupid phase. But we do real dumb stuff when we're in our 20s, especially like until we get about 27. We make real
I wish I'd made more bad decisions in my 20s. Can I get a do-over?
dumb decisions. And I'm including
I spent the first half just being a severe alcoholic.
myself in that. So what I say to you is, sir, you got to think twice when you do something, because some things have
I'd like to make more constructive mistakes this time.
some very long-term consequences, okay? You don't want to spend the rest of your life coming
Or 21, you were 28, you were aimless. I'm 30 and I'm still aimless.
back and forth in an orange jumpsuit
Almost 31.
because you can't think through the consequences of what you're doing today. Everything you do today is going to resonate and have a consequence 5, 10, 15 years from now. The longer your criminal record gets, the harder your life will be when you're older. And I'm not trying to make my life hard. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So it might be fun and cool, and you chilling, you getting away with stuff now, but when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, your life gonna be real hard. Don't make your life hard for some simple, like, fun or shenanigans you're doing now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? All right, so I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for time served. Balance will be suspended. That's on count 2 in exchange for your NOLO plea. Count 1 is a null pros. You can go back with the sheriff's office, and if nothing is
Just a Peach with a $5 super chat says, we would send people to the store next door for a bucket of steam. They would send them down the street and on and on and on. That's a mean one. Funny.
Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
And if I don't?
Then I will send the sheriff after you, and you'll most likely serve 6 months in the Butler County Jail.
Because you want to send me to jail. How is that
All
helping?
right, then we have Mr. Bauer's client.
And I'm sorry, Judge, what was that name?
It is Annie Scott.
Yes, Judge.
Here. That'll be on the record in 2020 CR 82, State of Kansas versus Annie Lee Scott. This is a show cause. How does she wish to proceed at this time? Mr. Patterson, on the allegations that she has violated her probation for driving while suspended, leaving the scene of an accident, and giving a false alarm.
Your Honor, I would tell the court that I have spoke to Ms. Scott. I would tell the court that she is going to waive and stipulate. She would stipulate specifically that she had not kept in contact or reported to a probation officer as required. And there'd be an explanation of that, Judge, that their phone was it wasn't her phone. She was having trouble with the phone issue. Also,
Green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, are you investing in an IRA or something for your retirement? If not, invest in talent like puppets. I'm never going to get to retire. That's a joke. I'm genuinely never going to get to retire. I'm just going to die young.
so that
It's
she
fine.
had not gained or maintained employment during her probation.
It's kind of like, I don't think you get into doing online YouTube videos and Twitch things with the thought like, oh yeah, I'm going to have a really thought out retirement plan. No, that's not going to happen. I'm going to struggle doing this until I can't anymore, and then I'll give up. That's my retirement plan.
So I think there's some issues there. There's an addendum, Judge. And on the addendum, there lists a new case. That is a pending case. It's not something that would be stipulated to for purposes of probation violation. And I would tell the court that, again, at the time of disposition, she's had some major changes in her life that we'll want to put on the record for disposition.
Okay, Ms. Scott, this motion to revoke your probation was filed. The motion was filed May 18th and the warrant was issued May 19th. So we've taken some time getting here today. Is it your intention to admit that you had late and missed appointments and you hadn't paid anything on your case as ordered?
Yes.
Is anyone making you admit these violations of your probation today by any kind of threats or promises?
No.
You understand you do have a right to an evidentiary hearing in which the state would have to call Mr. Bauer and see if they could prove that you violated your probation?
Yes.
And knowing that, you wish to waive the right and again stipulate the violations?
Yes.
All right, I accept your waiver of your evidentiary hearing and your stipulation that you have violated your probation as alleged, at least in the original warrant, and find that you have violated your probation, which exposes you to a 6-month controlling sentence for these charges.
Green guy says, Hannah, your wife thinks you should try her plan and get your partner to take care of you. Yeah, that'd be nice. But again, we're all poor, so we're just all fucked.
Mr. Sweeney, you have recommendations for disposition?
Yes, Your Honor. Generally, what I would recommend in a felony case similar to this would be some sort of jail sanction to be served forthwith, and that the defendant be placed back on court services probation with the same and previously ordered conditions. This isn't a case that I've spoken specifically with Mr. Bauer about, so he may have his own thoughts and beliefs regarding her performance on probation. I would think somewhere in the range of 2 to 5 days as a jail sanction might be appropriate, and then have her immediately placed back on probation with Mr. Bauer.
Can I ask?
I defer to Mr. Bauer if he has any other additional recommendations beyond that.
Mr. Patterson, do you have a preference? Do you want to hear the probation officer's recommendations first, or do you want to proceed first?
Judge, I would like to go ahead and present, because there might be information here that is not known by Mr. Bauer, so that whether it affected or not, I just want to make sure that he has this information.
Very well, please proceed.
Judge, after talking with Ms. Scott, I would tell the court that this is a case where the original charges were from February 14, 2020. Ms. Scott, can you mute yourself for a little bit? Judge, as I stated, the original charges from February 14, 2020, they didn't get resolved until December of 2021 when she was placed on probation. Part of the reason why they didn't get resolved earlier is she was in Department of Corrections, DOC, that she had been released in November from her DOC sentence. There was a hold on her through Butler County. She was transferred to Butler County to resolve this case.
Your Honor, there's not been any payments made. She owes $768. I would agree with Mr. Sweeney that some kind of a sanction, I think a 2-day sanction probably would be plenty, but some type of a sanction and then placed back on probation. I'm willing to continue to work with her, but the main thing with her has been lack of communication. She did get through parole. She got off of that early, but she was reporting to them and taking care of that. While she was on parole, I really didn't do a whole lot about the not reporting because she was reporting to parole. But since she's been off parole, she hasn't been reporting. I haven't talked to her since early June. I think the key thing for her is stay in contact with me, because I can work with her on all the rest of the stuff. If
so much social anxiety or anxiety in general about not doing what I'm supposed to, how do people just not show up to their parole meetings and not talk to their parole officers? If I went to jail or was found guilty of something and had parole, I would feel bad if I didn't show up for my parole hearings or my parole check-ins or whatever. Like, I'd just feel bad. Like, it wouldn't even be like, oh no, I fucked up. It would be like, oh no, they were expecting me. And I didn't show up for our appointment. I'm so rude.
she communicates with me. Last I knew, she was homeless, living in a shelter, and had no phone. So her going to school and all this is new to me. I have not been aware of that.
All right, Ms. Scott, you've gotten a couple of redos in life, it sounds like, with your parole, and it sounds like these folks are willing to work with you on probation if you're willing to work with them. Are you willing to report as directed and follow your probation conditions?
Yes.
I'm not sure a 2-day sentence is going to make a difference if you've already done prison time.
Every day I sit in jail, that's another day that I work so hard to get where I am right now. Whatever.
But I can't just, here's the thing, Miss Scott, I can't just ignore the fact.
I can go to jail, it's fine. I'll throw everything I have away. It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't.
Okay, first of all, take a deep breath and sit down.
I already lost my mom and you guys want to keep taking my freedom
down.
from me.
Miss Scott, sit down. And take a deep breath. If you can't even follow the court's instructions when I tell you to sit down, you're not going to be able to follow my directions when I tell you to report to the probation officer. How long were you in DOC?
I did a 5-month sentence. And you guys, they still brought me back to the Butler County Jail after the fact. They knew my mom died. They knew. I had to have, my family wouldn't even bond me out to go. I had to have my ex-boyfriend do it.
Okay, Miss Scott, listen to me.
Like, I'm sorry about her mother passing away. That's terrible. But I also don't understand, like that's not, they can't just let you not get arrested just because your mom died recently. Like, that's terrible, and I feel for her, but that's also not really how anything works.
Probation is a privilege. I don't owe it to you. You committed these offenses, and you have to be responsible for them. Now, Mr. Bauer has said he's willing to work with you, but you've got to at least report. If you don't want to be in jail, if you want to be able to do the things you want to do, then you have to report. Now, if you still want to be on probation, I can't just ignore the fact that you quit reporting and quit doing what you're supposed to. I do have to give a sanction. Mr. Sweeney and Mr. Scott only are asking for a couple of days, 48 hours. That's pretty minimal. Instead, I realize you've served 5 months for something else you did. But I'm going, where do you live right now?
I live in Central County. I live in Wichita.
Okay. And you don't have a valid driver's license, is that correct?
No, I don't.
Okay. I will work with you a little bit to get over here to the county jail, but you're going to have to serve 48 hours and then report to Mr. Bauer. If you don't want to do that, I will just revoke your probation now, and I'll send the sheriff over to get you. Want to do that?
I'll do whatever you want. I will literally start packing my stuff right now.
Okay. Now, you don't have a job at this time, right?
No, but I have a home that I'm trying to take care of.
And you go to school. When are your classes?
I go every week. There's a new.
Deep Lord says, oh god, your comments are always hit or miss. Let's see. I'm in the Navy and my spouse does public affairs for the VA. Yesterday she got an email from the top directors to do an audit of all products and positions to report individuals for any association with DEI. Today I got my email direction for me to rat out people for DEI. Would you like me to forward the email I got? I haven't seen much reporting about this, but it's real and it's about to get really scary in America. I've seen the email. It already got leaked from NASA.
They're 5 weeks long, but it
I don't want to see it. I'm in denial.
doesn't matter. I'm going to jail anyway.
Are they on the computer? Would you please sit
But it's
down?
okay. I'm far from the only one.
Is this the way you would act in my courtroom?
I'm just trying to pack my stuff, so I have to have
down, or I'm going to send a sheriff
get my
after
stuff
you.
out of my house.
Mr. Patterson, anything you can do to tell your client to listen to me and cooperate? Because she's not acting like she's in court right now.
Judge,
I just have to get my stuff together and have somebody come pick up my belongings from my house since I'm about to.
If I could have a brief breakout room, maybe I can get
Very brief, Mr. Patterson, please.
Thank you, Judge.
Back on the record in State versus Annie Scott. And Mr. Patterson and client been able to have a meaningful conversation there.
Yes, Judge. She's ready for the court to proceed with disposition.
I like that there's a lady just working on like her outdoor umbrella while waiting for the court thing.
Scott, is that right? You're ready to proceed now?
No, I'm not ready to. I'm not ready to go to jail. I'm really not.
Okay.
I just had a job interview and I was waiting on a call back, but it doesn't matter.
Miss Scott, can you at least sit and listen to me? You see, I have the opportunity to order you to go serve 6 months in the county jail or a couple of days. I don't have to order anything at all. Do you understand that I have a wide option there? Okay, well, I'm telling you I do. And your response to my questions are going to help me decide how much time you should do. Now, the recommendation from the state has been 2 days. They're not asking you to do the whole 6 months. So what I want to know is, you're living in this house, and who's paying the bill on the house?
Me, I am.
Through your student loan money. Is that right?
Exactly.
How often do you go to school?
It's all year. The program started in February.
It's the recordable Blu-rays, Lady Ann, not the normal ones.
Online? Do you go to school online, or do you go sit in a classroom?
Yes.
Okay. So your college is online. Is it college that you're taking?
Yep.
What's your major area of study?
Business.
Business administration.
Yep. Business administration.
And what school are you enrolled in?
University of Phoenix.
All right. So you do it. You work.
Oh, so you're throwing money away. Good to know. I thought University of Phoenix got deleted for being a scam. Didn't the University of Phoenix have to close because they were a fucking scam?
At your own pace, basically, as long as you get done within a set period.
Yep.
You don't have a job, is that right?
Right. I just had a job interview on Friday.
When are they going to call you back or notify you about whether you're hired or not?
Today.
What kind of, where would you be working if you're hired?
Subway.
And is that in Wichita?
Yep.
And how would you get to work?
It's not for my.
It was purchased by the University of Idaho. That's hilarious.
Far from my house, so I would just walk.
Okay, that's good because you still don't have a license, correct?
Correct.
Right. I am going to order that as a consequence for your violation, as a sanction, you will serve 48 hours in the Butler County Jail. And
you will serve 36 hours in the butt.
Check in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
And if I don't?
Then I will send the sheriff after you, and you'll most likely serve 6 months in the Butler County Jail. It's that simple.
This literally help.
Miss Scott, if you're not hearing a word I'm saying, if you're not going to cooperate, I'll just full 6 months served.
It's fine. My life is over. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going. It's your call. I'm going to give you one chance. Do you want to bring yourself over here tomorrow at 9 a.m. or do you want to serve the full 6
start this job? Yeah, I'll come. I'll do it. I'll do whatever you want.
9 a.m. tomorrow morning, deputy. If she's not in the county jail, then she will serve. And Mr. Patterson, make sure we understand this. If she is not here at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning and serve 48 hours and immediately report after she's released to CSO Bauer, she is to serve the full 6 months.
I can't fucking do this. I can't do this. I can't. I fucking can't.
Scott?
A lot of people in chat are saying it's performative. I don't know if it is. I think she's just genuinely incredibly sensitive. Like, I'm not saying it's reasonable for her to be acting this way, but I get the vibe it's genuine. I don't think she's doing it to be manipulative. I think she's just very... What's the word I'm thinking of? She's very emotionally intense, is the vibe I'm getting. I think this is just her genuine...
I'm sorry, Mr. Bauer. I don't think she's going to work with you. You still want to give her a chance?
Overwhelmed.
If she will do her sanction.
Yeah, she's having an emotional episode. And jail is scary, but like, you know, most people we see get sentenced don't do that.
And report to me, I will give her an opportunity. We've had this same exact type of episode in a meeting, so I'm not completely shocked about the behavior, but I will work with her if she's willing to try.
So with your experience with her, does she calm down and then behave, or does she just disappear on you?
When she did this to me, she hung up and then called a few days later.
Well, if she doesn't show up tomorrow and waits a few days later to call, there's going to be no mercy. Do you understand that, Miss Scott?
There is no mercy now, so.
Okay, guys, I'm going to order that her probation is revoked. If she doesn't bring herself in within 2 hours, the sheriff needs to go pick her up.
I can't get there in 2 hours. I don't have a ride.
All right, probation is revoked. Issue a bench warrant for probation.
Because I don't have a ride.
And go pick her up, because this is not going to work. I can tell this behavior is not going to be conducive.
Because I have pled my case. I've pled my case. I've worked really hard to look, this is my house. This is my home. I have no furniture because I just got it.
And I have been willing to work with you, Miss Scott, but you just will not work with me.
Because you want to send me to jail. How is that helping?
Right. I'm not going to do this, Miss Scott. Probation is
That's
revoked.
because it's not helping anything.
Case is closed. Case is closed. And when I say closed, case is closed, I mean case is adjourned. It's not closed, but this hearing is adjourned. Mr. Sweeney, if your office can get the bench warrant to me, I will order it. Probation revoked, defendant sentence.
Oof, with the probation revocation, that's not good.
Okay. We'll be in recess. You can, what's your address, Miss Scott? Miss Scott, what's your address?
And she left.
And she left. She obviously bent down and disconnected. So probation is revoked. She will serve her full sentence, and warrant to pick her up.
Jesus, she would have done 2 days. Now 6 months. Fuck me.
Michael Wayne Goins, you here?
Yes, sir. Michael Goins here.
He just jumped in.
Oh, he's smoking. That's a good start.
The state of Michigan versus Michael Wayne Goins, case number SX430-10431. Appearance for the record, please.
Sherika Harris, on behalf of Mr. Goins, please state your name for the record.
Michael Goins.
Good morning to you, sir. Today is the date and time set for a pretrial. Well, no, it's not. It's set for a pretrial on February the 2nd. So you're here early. Do you have valid registration, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let's see what you have, please. Hold it up. Hold on. Let me get you on the screen here. All right. Very well. Let me see.
No Jay's a proxy, but I do have that one pulled up. We can probably watch that one next. We're close. Well, what time is it? Okay, we got an hour left. We should have time for it.
Do you have that? You can put it down. All right, I'm going to dismiss the case for providing valid documentation. Nothing further,
Thank you.
sir. Very good day. Best of luck to you.
Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Is the Littleton? I saw you had a. Was that you that sent me that stuff, Littleton?
Guy's a fucking dick, bro.
So forever.
Who is that?
Oh no! They called the judge a fucking dick. I think they thought they were muted. Oh god!
Thank you. Is the Littleton? I saw you had a. Was that you that sent me that stuff, Littleton?
Guy's a fucking dick, bro.
Oh, that's such a fuck up. That's a fuck up.
Who is that? Mr. Goins.
Oh.
You're in contempt of court, Mr. Goins.
Oh, and the look on his face too when he realized.
Oh.
Oh, the look on his face. Oh. It was in this moment he realized he had fucked up.
Contempt of court, Mr. Goins. I'm going to give you another court date. Mr. Goins? Mr. Goins? Come on now.
Hi.
Come on back.
Sodbuster, thanks for subscribing on YouTube.
I heard what you said. Too bad you didn't say that after you left the room.
Great.
All right. So I'll give you another. You what?
I don't know how to get back to it. Hang on.
No, you're right here right now.
Okay, I see you.
Is that Mr. Goins?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I heard your comment, sir.
I know, sir. I'm sorry.
And too bad you didn't make that comment before you left the room, and I had to hear it.
I understand.
Because now we're going to deal with it, all right?
I understand, sir.
All right, stand by.
Mr. Duck Sauce, thanks for a 25 stream streak, says, boing, boing? Why boing?
We'll take you last. Because I'm going to show you how that...
Oh shit, Nemesaur with a $50 tip says, yay, PayPal option is back. Thank you, Nemesaur, for your generous tip.
How I can be what you said I am.
I understand.
All right, Danny. All right, Mr. Goins.
Hello?
Well, what did you call me?
Your Honor, I apologize. I'm sorry.
What did you call?
I didn't call you anything. I thought the phone.
Oh no. Gamer G, thanks for 21 months, says, calling the judge a dick is legendary bad move, like Chili doing the thumbs up in court when his judge read off him calling the arrest officer a pig. That was classic. I miss when Chili would do bold things. He doesn't anymore after the arrest and jail time.
Off.
No, that's not what you called. You did call me something. And you thought the phone was off and you didn't think I heard you. So let me hear what you called.
A dick, Your Honor.
Yeah,
we did it.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Sorry I called you
Your
a
Honor,
dick.
please accept my apology, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't need these problems, please.
No, I didn't bring the problems on you. I tried to do the best
I would suggest you make sure you're muted or hung up before you call the judge a dick then. Like, that's the funny thing too. If he had just hung up, you can call the judge a dick in your house as much as you want. The problem is you accidentally said it to his face in court accidentally, and that's a problem.
I tried to do the best I could, just like I've done everybody else, to get everybody out of here efficiently and give them a fair deal and give them a fair opportunity to be heard. And you're the type
Yeah, after the dismissal too.
Seems like you throw the stone and hide your hand.
Ryan Cooper for with a continuing 16-month membership on YouTube says, I'm trying not to laugh too loud at work. This hurts so much. Thank you for the laughter. You're very welcome.
No.
Because when you thought that you weren't, when I wasn't listening, then you go and call me these expletives. I don't know why. It's not like I don't know why. I don't know why you feel that way. But you only did that because you thought I wasn't listening. Do I need to put you in a breakout? Do I need to put him in a breakout room with you, Mr. Berry?
12P says, so Nemesaur is your shill account where you pay yourself, right? Like the plant and the congregation at the tent revival. I'm with you, winks knowingly. I wish I had the money Nemesaur does to continually do gift subs and tips.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But you only did that because you thought I wasn't listening. Do I need to put you in a breakout? Do I need to put him in a breakout room with you, Mr. Berry?
Well,
I think I need to put him in a breakout room because I have right now. We can have a contempt hearing because in the court's presence, he laid out some very descriptive expletives and calling me that. I don't know what I did to him. Maybe he doesn't like the way I run my show. But
Your Honor,
have a conversation with the lawyer.
All right, sorry.
And
wait in the breakout room, Mr. Gawns. Let's go with Mr. Gaines. Mr. Berry.
See, if I was the lawyer, I'd be like, what do you want me to tell him in the breakout room? Don't call the judge a dick? Like, I thought that was evident.
Yes, Your Honor. We are ready to deal with this situation, and if the court would permit.
Green Guy says, I'd just like to make you read my thoughts like an IRL puppet. You're very focused on the puppet thing. You're very focused on the puppets.
Call as a witness.
I'm gonna have to learn how to use a goddamn puppet.
Mrs. Goins, who was present.
This is not a trial or anything right now. But I'm just gonna hear what you have to say. Go ahead. I'll allow Ms. I'll allow Ms. Goins to speak if you need to.
Your Honor, the situation is this. The Goins have a 20-year-old autistic child who in the last 24 hours has been very, very difficult. And when Mr. Goins spoke those words, he was directing his comments to his wife about the difficulties they've had over that. This comment came in regard to his son's conduct and his difficulty in dealing with him overnight and over the past 24 hours.
So, wait, is his defense that, Judge, he wasn't calling you a fucking dick, he was calling his autistic son a fucking dick?
And that's the situation. And inadvertently, obviously, the channel was open to the court. But these comments were not directed at the court.
I don't agree.
Alden Undying says, I'm so sorry, I'm very high. I saw this and I have to share. Oh, I'd like that shirt. It's a bunch of different cryptids. It's Bigfoot, a gray, a jackalope, and oh god, is that there's a Mothman. What is this, the reptile, what's the, like, bat-winged one? Is that a chupacabra? Anyway, I would like that shirt. Where did he go? There it was.
I think Mr. Goins is all but admitted they were directed to the court. And,
Jersey Devil? I thought the Jersey Devil looked different, but okay.
Were we back?
I didn't miss Nessie. I thought I mentioned that they were riding the Loch Ness Monster.
we're not on the record. We're not on the record. We'll settle this off the record. I think that Mr. Goins already all but admitted that he was speaking of the court when he said that. I get it. You know, dealing with autistic, child is autistic, and having to deal with that can be a heavy burden. Also being in court, especially all morning, especially the long docket that we've had today. It's not first place that anybody wants to be, but you know, everybody's got something to deal with. I got a mom that's sitting in grave condition in the hospital right now that I am dealing with doctors and dealing with hospitals and dealing with these things and navigating these things. But I control my frustrations, and I especially don't, even the people that I think have, or that aren't really giving me a fair opportunity. If I'm gonna call them that, I'm gonna call them that to their face. And I'm not gonna inadvertently call them that when I thought that the camera was off. That's just how I do. So, you know something, Mr. Goins, I'm gonna let it go at that and just move on from it. It probably is not the first time, and I'm sure it certainly won't be the last time, but it's not gonna change the way I operate. I believe that I am very fair, and I'm definitely very compassionate about people going through their situations. I'm gonna pray for you and your wife and your family. I'm gonna wish you a very happy new year, and I hope you can control your frustrations a little bit better this time, all right?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. There's nothing further. You're free to leave.
I'm glad he didn't do this, but it would be kind of a hilarious movie if he said, "Thank you, dickbag," and hung up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Are we ready for Mr. Larry?
He got so lucky. Yeah, I think the judges wanted to scare him. If I was a judge, like, people are allowed to, like, you know, you can criticize judges. Like, you're allowed to call a judge a dick. Just don't do it in his courtroom. And while you're on the phone with him, you're in court, technically. So, you know how it is. All right, what was that? This is the judge goes off on the probation officer for this one, I believe.
There for review. And according to Miss, I don't never know her name because she don't put her name on here. According to probation, your discharge date is May the 2nd. You were placed on a 12-month probationary period.
Yeah, this is the probation officer overstepping. I'm not sure exactly what happens, but I've had this recommended to me.
And I placed you on probation on, yeah, May 2nd.
You're not a judge, so am I fucked or not? I'm your judge. I'm a judge of all of you, just not in the legal sense.
Of this year, 24. So this is your first review. This is the halfway point. However, you're not quite finished. So this says that you did pay the restitution in full It says the restitution of $30,000 was paid in full. You completed the theft awareness class. You have done some, you did choices
Yes, ma'am.
through eBay, and then you've completed 8 of the 10 gamblers counseling.
Baba Booey says, does a little twirl. What do I score? A tier.
Let's see. That she's saying 2 different things. How many gamblers counseling is left?
I finished all 10.
Oh, you did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did you finish? Because she just sent me this.
This would have been last week on, I believe Friday was the last day. I remember she said she was leaving the office Thursday. So Mr. Mooney was trying to get in contact with her, I believe, to email her to let her know that I was completed. But he assured her that I will be finished before this court date.
Okay, let me see who. All right, Mr. Flanagan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you call Miss Collins in probation and see if she has an update? Well, let me ask this before I have you do that. What about count 2? You owe $510 on count 2.
That's the only thing that I haven't completed, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, then don't worry about calling her, Mr. Flanagan. So let's do this. How long do you think it'll take for you to complete or pay the $510?
I started a new job within 2 days. So my first paycheck within basically 2 weeks, I'll be able to pay it.
You gonna give us all your money? I don't know how much check is. Don't give me the saying it's all your money. I mean,
it's literally been all my money. So
right. But I can give you a couple of months if you want a couple of extra months. I can give you a couple of months.
I mean, yeah, that will work better. Absolutely. Whichever one works.
Nice of her.
All right. I mean, 'cause today is just the halfway point. So you're not technically scheduled to be discharged from probation. The 12 months, you're not scheduled until May 2nd. I could give you a date in late January if that'll be better for you.
Yes, ma'am. That works.
Mr. Miles, is that acceptable?
It is acceptable, Your Honor. It's possible I might be out of the country, but I'd be able to get another attorney to stand in for review.
All right. And also, if he completes it, so let me give a date. I'll give a date first. And then if he completes it and pays the money, you could send an email to Mr.
Ooh, is that the shirt? Hell yay! I can't afford this right now. I can't be buying shit. But if someone wanted to get me it, go for it and send it to the P.O. box. I would be a large, methinks.
Mr. Flanagan, and I can discharge him without you coming.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, so I'll put it on the docket for...
Sounds like he's doing everything right so far. Oh yeah, the defendant isn't, or not even the defendant, he was found guilty, he's on probation. The person on probation isn't the problem in this video, it's the probation officer.
January the... Let's put it on the docket for February 3rd, that first Monday in February. I'll put it on the docket for February 3rd. And then that way we could confirm with Ms. Collins that you've completed those classes or the counseling, and then you can pay the $510. If you've done so, counsel, you can just submit an email and I can confirm it with the probation, and then I can discharge them without appearance. So we'll put it on the docket for a discharge.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. So February 3rd, Mr. Flanagan, let's put it on docket for, well, no, not 9:45, because that will denote money. That'll denote money only. Just put it on for the regular time, 10 o'clock, and then we'll see where we are.
Excuse me, Brian. Miss Bryant. So up until this point, I'm still expected to check in regularly and do the normal probation process until January.
What do you mean by that? Tell me what do you do? What's the normal probation process?
Well, because originally they were telling me that once I came into this review, I could have the potential to be discharged from the probation since I had did all the classes and everything like that.
So here,
right now,
I'm gonna interrupt you, Mr. Lee. You're on a non-reporting probation anyway. So if they've had you reporting monthly, you didn't have to do that.
I said that originally, but they told me that the judge don't make the rules here. That was the quote that they.
Who told you that?
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting.
Oh, hold on. Mr. Flanagan, call Mr. Farmer right now. Call him right now.
Yes.
It's gonna be a great day. Call him right now. I need you to tell us who told you that. Call them right now. Matter of fact, you can call Mr. Wade too. Call them right now. Because I'm about to. Yes. I like you, Mr. Lee. I like you. You didn't even mean to tell on them, but you did.
Yeah, I didn't. It's Miss Bryson. She's no longer there anymore. That was the former probation officer that I had.
Let me make sure they have a meeting with probation while you on here. Let's make sure they have a meeting with the probation, because if I ever hear somebody say that again, I'm gonna hold them in contempt.
Understood.
Yeah, but we gonna do this right now. Oh, I'm so excited. This turned out to be a great Tuesday. But you did not have to report, Mr. Lee. You were not supposed to be reporting on a monthly basis. And we getting ready to nip that in the bud right now. I'm so excited for my future and yours. So to answer your question, you do not have to report. Now, what you have to do is let us know when you finish those classes, the counseling. So you can in fact have them send it to Mr. Flanagan. But I want you to stay on here so Mr. Farmer can hear it from you. I'm gonna tell him what you said, and then I'm gonna ask you, did you say that in front of the supervisor? So we can make sure that no other probation officer ever tells anybody else that I don't make the rules. I am the rule. I mean, I don't even understand what. Yeah.
I thought so. I thought so too.
You should have told him that, and then you should have just not shown up. Nothing would have happened.
Yeah, I understand what she's saying, but I think 99 times out of 100, that's not gonna go well.
Happened to you? Nothing.
I just was nervous. I didn't want to get violated. I was just trying to follow the rules.
You said Mr. Farmer is logging in right now?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's not logging in. He must not have been at his computer. And it is correct that Miss Bryson is no longer with. That could be part of the reason she's not here, because she thought the judge didn't make the rules. I don't know why she's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So, Your Honor, my understanding is that the requirements of Mr. Lee are that he complete the payment of $510 and provide proof that he's completed the gamblers counseling classes.
Right, and then I'm gonna discharge him without him ever having to go see probation again. See how that works? Because I do make the rules, Mr. Lee.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm just gonna have to let him see the tape, because I'm not gonna hold you here. He didn't log right in, and so I'm not gonna hold you. But you don't have to report to them. So I did notice on the Register of Action there was a report day. Oh, maybe you just had a report day.
Yeah, I had one the other day. It's been monthly, and then I'll go do the drug screen as well.
What
every
drug
month.
screen?
They're doing drug screenings on this man, and he's not even supposed to? This is fucked. This is fucked up. Everyone at that fucking probation office needs to get fired. This is sick shit.
They've been having me do a drug screen. I was like, I don't even smoke, or my case had nothing to do with anything, drug related, but I've been doing a drug screen every month.
Mr. Lee, let me apologize on behalf of the court. And I'm gonna, I'm thankful.
Like, is someone's cousin running the drug testing company? Like, why are they doing drug tests on random people?
Miss Bryson no longer works here because she might have got fired today.
Understood.
So you do not have to drug test. My order specifically says no urinalysis was ordered. And so what I'm going to do is refund you any money that you have paid.
Hell yeah.
For your drug screens. So
fuck yes.
Where were you?
He needs a good lawyer and get paid, right? Like, this is fucked. I'm glad that this judge is rectifying it now, but it doesn't change the fact that, like, that's fucked up. Them doing unsanctioned fucking drug tests on him is such a violation.
Testing.
It was a Rochester Hills location. I forget the name of it, but it was like a few minutes from my house. I went there, I believe twice when I couldn't make it all the way to Detroit within a day, so I would go there. So I only did that like twice. It was like $40 total there, and then the other times they would make me come out to the court to do it.
You said the other times, so you have tested every month since I put you on probation?
Yes, ma'am, every month.
That's a mess. Okay. Oh, that's a mess. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to deduct. Come on screen, Mr. Farmer. Good morning.
Benikagami says, a reminder that most parole officers are failed cops, so this is likely a bunch of bullies and losers trying to feel powerful or important. How many people did they do this to? Probably everyone!
Who is just, he is...
Good morning, Your Honor.
He is justice. Every time he come on here, I feel like justice is behind him. Mr. Farmer, this is Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, say hi to Mr. Farmer.
I'm so excited.
Mr. Farmer.
How you doing?
Mr. Farmer, Mr. Lee used to be supervised by someone who no longer works here. So that's good. Because they might have got fired today if they still worked here. Miss Bryson. Miss Bryson told Mr. Lee, who she made report to probation every month, that I don't make the rules. He told her it's a non-reporting probation. Miss Bryson told him, the judge don't make the rules, we make the rules. Not only did she have him reporting to probation, she has had this man drug screening every month when my order specifically says no urinalysis ordered. What I called you on here for is because she no longer works here. In your next meeting, just make sure nobody ever tells one of my probationers that, because that might get them held in contempt of court, because that doesn't even make sense. And I
understand.
You know that don't make sense. You would, okay. So what I am going to do, Mr. Lee said he tested at the court 4 times, and you tested in Bloomfield 2 times?
Yeah, Rochester Hills, yeah.
Oh, Rochester Hills. So, Mr. Flanagan, what I am going to do is deduct. I'm just going to give him $150 credit for his inconvenience and his time. And then that will leave him a balance instead of the 510. Y'all know I got to subtract the old-fashioned way. So hold on. I'm gonna cross off.
I'd agree. That seems like not enough. And also, she isn't being hard enough on this guy. The fact that she believes that that was just a one-off thing, or is treating this like a one-off thing with one employee, I fully believe this guy's in on this shit. The boss knew. You're telling me the boss didn't know about this shit? Bull fucking shit. This guy knows what's going on.
I'm gonna make it a 4. I'm gonna put my little 1 over there. They don't teach the kids how to do that anymore. 11 minus the balance. Okay, your balance is $360. And then if you pay that balance and Miss Officer Penn, don't be making me feel bad. He had already texted me, y'all, told me how much it is. He adds in his head. My officer. I love my officer too. I love my staff. So, Mr. Counsel, if you send that, if he finishes, you can send it to his new probation officer. But I'm telling you this in the presence of Mr. Farmer, you do not have to show up and report to probation, and you do not have to drug test. You only have to pay the balance and finish those 2 classes. Oh, no, you said you finished the classes.
Yes, ma'am. I finished them.
Okay, so we just need proof of the counseling.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Farmer, you gonna take care of that for me? I've never had a probation officer say that before, so I think you got a good team, but that made me nervous. I think Mr. Farmer froze. He did. All right. Well, he used to be a probation officer. Now he's the supervisor. So that was some bad advice. That was some bad instructions. And like I said, she doesn't work here anymore. And if she did today, she was probably gonna either be fired or held in contempt of court. So I'm glad we didn't have to cross that bridge. Thank you, Mr. Farmer, and
No
for
problem,
coming
ma'am.
on. Thank you so much. Mr. Lee, thank you for sharing that information. And I again apologize for the inconvenience. You did not have to do those things. So I appreciate it. And then I'll either see you on the 3rd or we'll do your discharge when I get the information, okay?
Okay,
Your Honor.
thank you.
One
Yes.
question, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I'm just looking at my notes and
Jesus Christ, that whole department needs to be investigated. Like, genuinely very concerning to me that was going on. And the judge basically just called the boss and was like, hey, do you know about that? She didn't even say that. She didn't even she was just like, hey, your employee did this thing with as if he had nothing, I don't know. Ugh. We're all fucked. You notice we're all entirely and completely fucked? Anyway, what else?
Listen to me. You've been talking ever since you come in here. Court calls the case of Lorena Wagner versus Fabienne Hosmer.
Lorena Wenger here, Your Honor. Fabienne
Hosmer?
Hosmer. Hi, can you hear me?
Okay. This is a termination. You're back. No heat for prior cases before me, right? Okay.
Your Honor, can I say something real quick?
That's usually not a good sign when the defendant first thing wants to talk.
Sure.
Someone called CPS on me for this
Called
house
what?
not being fit. Somebody has called CPS on me for this house not being fit. On Sunday it happened.
Okay. Is the house fit?
Okay. And so, okay, what happened out of that?
I'm not sure. I have some people coming today. They called on me for the roof and for the no heat situation here.
Yeah, if you don't have heat in your house in Michigan in winter, in a particularly cold winter, that's a problem. Yeah, those kids aren't in a proper house. Like, yeah, they need to be in a place with heat.
So CPS is, how many kids are in the house?
I have twin boys. There's 2.
Okay, well, that would make them twins. I get it.
Yes.
Okay, so
Just a Peach with a $5 super chat says, what is happening is teaching me the difference between clinical and regular depression. It's fun when you can, like, have both at the same time. It's kind of like an emotional menage a trois, you know?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I got a phone call from somebody from the foster care program the other day. Her boys were removed back in August. She has not got them back yet.
No, I'm still in court. And I just went to court on Tuesday and someone called on Sunday because of this house. Nothing's happened in court. I've not been charged with anything. There's no court orders. It's ridiculous. And someone has called on me since Sunday. They called Sunday. I had court Tuesday.
Hey, so, ma'am, are your boys with you? Or are you trying to get them with you and they're coming out
I'm trying to get them back. So they're with my sister. And someone called Sunday about this house. They called CPS. And basically what's gone on is there's been no charges against me. I still have all the rights to my boys. They're with my sister. So I thought I was going to get them back on Tuesday. And someone called Sunday. So now
okay, so when are they? Okay, hold it. When are they coming out to inspect?
She was supposed to come today, but she canceled today. I don't know. She had an emergency came up. So today there's going to be, my parent partner is going to be here today. And I'm not sure what she's going to do, if anything, but, somebody told me that there's a B seed. I don't exactly know what that is, but also a, hold on, I have it written down right here. Certificate of occupancy to get this house inspected because she received Sarah funding.
We don't get any money for it.
They received.
It just looks like Judge Simpson is reflecting on whether or not law school was the best thing he could have done with his life. He should have been a Twitch streamer.
I think their last payment was November 20, sometime right around Thanksgiving. But they've gotten money, and I believe in the terms of dismissal for the first round. I had a lawyer, her name was Caroline Perry, due to the fact that I had kids in the house. She something in the terms of dismissal where the heat was supposed to be fixed. Like
no. Liar.
So Wagner, has the heat been fixed in the house?
No. Your Honor, the fans do not work on the radiators. We need to get everything fixed. System. That's why her lease was terminated the end of July, so nobody would be in that house for the winter. And she refused to leave because there was no heat. So there's been no heat for 3.5 years. The end of July.
There's been no heat for 3.5 years is not the defense you think it is, ma'am.
One at a time.
Careful, please. He might suggest a job swap. I'll go be a judge. I don't know how to rule on matters of law, but I'll do my darndest.
Go ahead, Miss Wagner.
I'll even practice. Someone object to something. Someone object. Do it. Object. 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 Overthought objects. Overruled. See? I can be a judge. In order. Sustained. Sustained. Overruled. Sustained. Overruled.
I've been trying
I can get through this docket. It's fine.
Trying to get her out for a couple years. But the end of July, I terminated her lease. I told her that was it. She needed to get out. That house needs to be fixed. It is not fit to live in. And then I find out, well, she accused me of turning gas back on. Why would I blow my own house up with kids in it? I don't understand that. But then I also found out that she told someone, I guess it was in the foster care program or something, that the house was fine and she would be living there another year. That house is not fit for anyone to live in right now. We've got to get her out. We cannot afford to do everything that needs to be done. And we're going to get a real estate agent in there and find out what that house is worth.
Motion for recusal on what grounds? Shenanigans creative.
As is. but I'm trying to get our house back. I went for possession of property.
Okay. Ms. Hosmer, why
Yes.
don't you want to move?
It's not that I don't want to move. I can't afford to move.
You
And now I
can't afford
have
to live there.
What was that laugh? Background noise in Jabba's palace.
all this
Okay.
stuff going on. Well, no, because my electric bill is ridiculous from running 6 space heaters for 3.5 years.
I mean, yeah, you gotta get the heat fixed. Yeah, you can't heat your house with space heaters. That's not efficient at all.
So who could afford to live here? Not only
Ms.
that, I've replaced the well pump so that I had water here.
Jurisdiction. Fine, accepted. I recuse myself from the stream.
2 times. I've done several things here.
But
to-
Ms. Hosmer.
Yes.
Okay. She's filed a termination case.
Yes.
You don't have a lease.
No.
She's not asking for money.
No.
She's asking for possession back.
Right. She received federal funding from Sarah since COVID. I don't know if they got 12,000. They got quite a bit of money.
No, we
And
didn't.
yes, you
So,
did.
Hold on. Okay, that's fine. So why are you bringing up the ceremony?
Because she was supposed to have the heat fixed.
I can't recuse myself. It turns out no other judges wanted to deal with all of you.
You withheld half of it so that she had the heat fixed. It was never done. They have not been in here. I was red tagged by Consumers Energy for a gas leak. I was without a stove from August until January. Nothing's been done here.
Yeah, where's the landlord at? Like, unironically, what's going on? Like, that landlord needs to get sued into the dirt.
We
Nothing
got
has
the
been done.
gas leak fixed after several times of you canceling on
The
them.
lease
That's why we
for-
got to get someone out. We got to get you out so we can get in there and get someone in that knows how to fix it.
But you were supposed to fix the heat while I was here.
Okay,
I've been
so stop. So Ms. Hosmer,
Yes.
she didn't fix the heat.
No.
Let's say that she didn't. Okay,
The
what do you
boiler
want me
system
to,
needs to
what
be
do you
fixed.
want me to,
I see. So it's the plaintiff? The plaintiff is the landlord? What the fuck?
what do you want me to do?
I would pay rent if the house was fixed.
Yeah, that's reasonable. You shouldn't be paying rent if your shit isn't, like, fixed. That's not how this works.
They've
She
never
doesn't
done it.
She doesn't want you to pay rent.
No.
She wants you to leave. So
Okay.
let's say for the moment, everything you're telling me is true.
Yes.
What do you want me to do?
I guess a certificate of occupancy so that it can be inspected, so that I can prove that she's wrong and get Sarah money to move. I don't know.
Okay, but, like, as much as if you were paying rent and had an active lease, she should be fixing things. Right now, if your lease is canceled and they don't want you there, they're not going to fix shit while you're there because they want you to leave?
I have a lot going on. Now I have an open CPS case too, on top of it, which I was just about to be done.
Yeah.
Somebody
Okay,
called
fine.
on Sunday.
I don't
mess.
know if she called.
I don't know
I'm
who
not
called.
a family
Somebody
court
called.
judge. I'm
No.
not a family court judge. I'm
I
here to
understand.
decide this property. All right, that's it.
Okay. The amount for my electric bills is ridiculous through the winter. I've never been compensated. I bought the heaters. There's been a gas leak. She did sign the red tag. She also, Brooklyn Plumbing told me, I spoke with the owner when we were in court at the time, and I had a lawyer due to that fact. She did turn the gas back on because Brooklyn
No, I
Plumbing
didn't.
didn't do any of it. And she signed Brooklyn
No, I
Plumbing's
didn't.
name on the red tag.
Oh.
Like, it's a mess. And I called Brooklyn Plumbing. My lawyer contacted them. I guess you don't remember that in court.
Give me a trial
But I don't have any money to move right now. Zero. I have all this stuff going on with CPS, plus somebody else just called. So it's just a mess.
All right, so apparently on Zoom, you two can't conduct yourselves properly. I'm just gonna put it that way. So you guys are gonna have to come before me because you're not listening to me. You guys just want to talk over each other. So you're gonna have to sit in my courtroom, and I dare you to talk over each other. So I'm gonna set this for non-jury trial.
The whole situation sucks. Agreed. It sounds like it's a big, complicated mess of bullshit.
In person. That will be on March 29th, Wednesday.
At what time, Your Honor?
9 a.m. sharp. Guys, bring all of your evidence of everything. Do that. You'll talk when I tell you to talk. You won't just start blabbling on. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
See you Wednesday. Bye.
Can't wait. All right. Is this my 11?
Yeah. But that's fine.
Is there anything else we want to watch today? We haven't seen Judge Middleton in a while, so we'll watch this last video will be the Judge Middleton one.
Very angry young man, have been for some time. I'm not sure everything that's going on here. This is called a bail setting arraignment. Sometimes we refer to them as jail arraignments, but it's to get the case started after your arrest, advise you of the charge, and set a bond. The prosecutor filed a complaint this morning, I think, alleging that on or about Christmas Day, December 25th, you did assault, batter, wound, resist, oppose, or obstruct Nathan Johnson, Brian Freds, and Joshua Edgington of the Sturgis Police Department. Those are all felonies punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment. It's also alleged that you are a habitual offender with at least 3 prior felony convictions, making this a 4th offense, which on a 2-year, I believe, makes it a maximum of 15 years imprisonment.
Woof.
Prosecuting Attorney-elect Deborah Davis is here with us, and you met with the public defenders, Keith Stickley, the chief public defender, and his assistant, Larry Westcomb. Ms. Davis, let me ask you this. The bond information sheet refers to a fleeing and eluding incident earlier in the day. There's no fleeing and eluding component to this.
Your Honor, there is a warrant request for fleeing and eluding from Officer Joshua Wired from the Sturgis Department of Public Safety that is in review. There were some questions about jurisdiction and other charges that may be associated with this. There was an incident in Sturgis, which is what brought the police to the place where he lives, and he then was seen in his vehicle. And there are 4 separate jurisdictions that have potential fleeing and eluding charges, all from yesterday's incident, which is why I'm here to advocate for some bond conditions and potentially not allowing bond in this case because of the danger to the public that this individual presents. So I don't know if you want me to go into that.
Go right ahead.
Sure. So this particular defendant was just released from parole recently. He was on parole from an incident of resisting and obstructing, causing injury to an officer here in St. Joseph County. He has several prior domestic violence charges, including domestic violence 3rd and a strangulation. He has been charged with absconding previously because he hasn't appeared, and his behavior yesterday is
he has a ponytail. Middleton has quite long hair.
Reckless and dangerous. This started in the early afternoon. It's alleged that his significant other, who was the victim of one of his prior domestic violence charges, had called the police to assist her because he was being violent and breaking things at the home, and she alleged that he is using methamphetamine again since he's been off of parole for a few weeks. So with that, the officers waited to see if he would come back because she said he had left driving erratically. He did, in fact, pass by the officer on Nottaway Road going 100 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone.
More than double the speed limit.
It's alleged that at that time, Officer Wired did pursue the defendant, but that pursuit went through multiple townships and the village of Baroque, and then into the state of Indiana, where it had to be terminated. Shortly thereafter, it's alleged that LaGrange picked up.
He got in a high-speed chase that crossed state lines? He's just ranking up, like, all the felonies. There's a real economy of crime going on here. The amount of offenses in such a short period of time, it's impressive.
Found him, and he then fled from the LaGrange officers back into Michigan. It's alleged that they then lost him again, and then he went back into Indiana and then came back to Michigan, where St. Joseph County deputies found him and pursued him, where they lost him again. And then Officer Wired in the Baroque Township found him again and pursued him. But because of his driving being so dangerous, passing people on the right side, that sort of thing, they terminated the pursuit. And then a tip led them to find him last night in Sturgis at the American Inn, which is where this R&O ×3 was alleged to have occurred, because he refused to come out of the hotel room, physically was holding the door shut, preventing the officers from unlocking the door. And then they found him in the bathroom, again, not coming out with the officer's lawful commands. So as far as the danger to the public, I think as far with his driving and the issues, he does have a valid license, which is surprising based on the fact that he has 3 prior OWI incidents in different states. He has criminal history in several different states.
I'm so used to the sovereign citizens. They get points just for having a driver's license.
A flee and elude in West Virginia, and some incidents in Indiana. Multiple different instances of use of controlled substances and assaultive, threatening behavior, multiple prior assaulting, resisting, obstructing of police officers, although some of them were dismissed as part of plea agreements. He is an extremely dangerous person in the view of the prosecutor's office, and we would ask that the court consider not allowing a bond at this point because of the danger to the public, as well as the likelihood that he is not going to appear. And if he doesn't appear and a bench warrant is issued, it could be an extremely dangerous situation for the law enforcement involved, as well as the public, if they have to go out and chase him and find him again. Again, there's also going to be at least the flee and elude from Sturgis that is under investigation because of the potential for the methamphetamine and potential for an OWI or OUID. There was some further investigation that was supposed to take place this afternoon. I'm not sure of the status of that yet. So we went forward with just authorizing on the resisting and obstructing, which we're prepared to have a trial on those pretty quickly. If the court wants to set it quick, we can. I would rather have this individual stay in custody and not be able to have access to vehicles or substances, so that we can have a trial sooner rather than later. And because he is a 4th habitual, the fleeing and eluding will likely be a potential life offense.
All right, and the fleeing and elude could be a 5-year with a 4th habitual. Mr. Fleming, the public defenders are here with you. Let me ask you a couple questions. I show your address as North Street. So the room at the American Inn, Mr. Mr. Cannon's room, you didn't reside there, you just happened to be there?
Mr. Fleming, I'm going to advise that you not answer that question. All right. Your Honor, we would ask that the court respect Mr. Fleming's right to stand mute, have a not guilty plea entered on his behalf.
All right.
And then we have we would have a brief, I guess, rebuttal in terms of bond.
All right, Mr. Fleming, in interest in protecting any of your rights, the public defender's recommendation is you don't say anything. And some of it may be moot because I'm going to deny your bond. So there's no point in asking whether you're employed, I guess, or where you live. I'll speak to the reasons for it here in a minute. But Mr. Stickley's advice is probably wise. So at this point, I'm going to show you stand mute, plead not guilty. I'm going to appoint an attorney for you. I'm going to set a pre-exam conference for January 7th of 2025 at 8:30. Pre-exam conference for January 14th, 2025, if needed, at 1 p.m. Mr. Stickley, what else would you like to place on the record here?
Your Honor, the only other thing that I had to place on the record this afternoon is that the defendant understands that the court might have reservations about what kind of bond might be set. MCL 765.6 does lay out that the defendant would be entitled to bond and that bail shouldn't be excessive if not addressed by some other statute. On the list of no bond acts, allegations in Michigan, I'm not sure that this qualifies as a no bond.
I had a concern that a 2-year R&O would qualify for no bond. So let me look at the rule. But go ahead.
And that is my statement, Your Honor, is a qualifying offense to a no bond condition.
All right. This happens a lot. You have
I'm gonna skip to the defendant talking.
Several previous assaultive offenses. 2013 assault, great bodily harm, bond over to circuit court. 2014 809 FY, 2 counts of resisting and obstructing, bond over to circuit court. 2014 941 FY, absconding on that R&O charge, bond over to have you bond out on this and immediately get rearrested on some new charges. So my intention was to deny the bond at least until the time of the pre-exam conference on January 7th.
Oh, of course he's a flight risk.
Charged, which would be more honest than setting a very high bond that you couldn't post. But Mr. Stickley pointed out a fear that I had. There are certain cases you can deny bond for, and I'm not certain that the actual facts of this case, where you wouldn't open a hotel room door, generally wouldn't merit a denied bond. You've got a bunch of baggage in your past and a bunch of baggage in your future. But there's good reason, public safety reason, to not let you bond out pending the new charges. So we will set a bond as Mr. Stickley requests. Bond set at $200,000. Cash or surety. This sounds like methamphetamine with a capital M, but we'll see how it plays out. That's a plus. Just anger, I guess. And your sisters, that's what I'm talking about. You get
brother. I don't have a brother. I got a sister that was molested. Now
yes,
you remember?
I was the guy that prosecuted the case.
Yeah, I know you was. You was the one that let him off.
I didn't let him off. He ultimately was convicted. He was acquitted in the first case, and we had a second one. That was almost 40 years ago. And no, I didn't let him off. He ultimately, I believe, went to prison.
No, he didn't. You let him off. Child molestation.
All right.
You let him
all
go.
right.
Let's
hold
tight.
All right. Anyway, we'll leave that song lyric for another day. No drugs and no alcohol.
Jesus Christ.
No driving. Test if directed. I don't think you're going to bond out. We'll see what comes of these new charges. Yes, Mr. Fleming, I remember when you were a kid and you got a lot of pent up anger you're still dealing with. All right, sir. I'll see you on January 7th. Your attorney will come out to the jail and see you. The line goes, I believe I've passed it.
Well, that wasn't fun at all. See if there's a cleanse before we end for the day. I miss the mayonnaise backpack. Mm-hmm. Okay, how's this one?
Hey, meant to make a go challenge.
Kids are genuinely chaos gremlins. You ever notice that?
So long, boys! I'll send you a postcard from Paradise Falls.
Siap Kocek, Pan Sobat. Ya, saya kena enggak.
Okay, that was funny. All right, let's see who we're gonna raid on Twitch. Thank you everyone for hanging out today and watching court videos with me. Not sure if I'll be back tomorrow. I work tomorrow early. I gotta get up at 6 in the morning, which is always fun. So, yeah, don't know if you'll see me tomorrow, but you'll certainly see me the day after. And pretty much for the rest of the month, except for Monday, I think. So, shoot good. Let's see who we're gonna raid. Casville slot.
Just so many dead fire.
Alright. I'll see y'all soon. Have a wonderful evening. Have some nice dinner. Huddle with your pets. And stave off the existential dread for another 24 to 48 hours. Alright. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.